One of the most hyped up college football teams currently is the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets after their Week 0 win against Florida State in kind of dominating fashion. And in today's video, it is all about turning this program into an Elite One and actually becoming the best team in their state, because currently we all know it's the Georgia Bulldogs. It is my job to bring Georgia Tech to prominence, and this video does not end until we do so. And taking a look at the last several years, Georgia Tech has been a pretty up and down program. When you look back to 2014, 11-3, but really since then, I mean, 3 wins, 5 wins, 3 straight 3-win seasons. But if you look at 2022 and 2023, we are slowly on the rise. Hopefully we can continue that trend and become a powerhouse in the Power 4. As always, quickly going through the roster, Haynes King is our quarterback, a redshirt junior. In real life, he's pretty decent. I would say that he's a great running quarterback, still has some accuracy issues, passing consistently, a couple issues there as well. Our backup is currently Zach Pyron, a redshirt sophomore. I do kind of like just getting my own recruit and then molding him into becoming a really good quarterback. So I'm probably going to try and do that again, but we'll see if any of these guys can develop for us. At running back, one of the best players on the entire team is Jamal Haynes. He's going to be very good for us this year and maybe next year if he decides not to leave. But we do have some decent options at running back when he does decide to graduate. But I do think, again, we could look just for talent pretty much all across the roster. At receiver, our best player is only a sophomore, but all of our depth are seniors. So wide receiver is going to have to be a pretty big, I guess, need for us in the recruiting cycle this year. Same thing with tight end. 3 redshirt seniors. And then the offensive line, I said this in a previous rebuild, usually every single unit on really like every single team has a junior or older starting, and it kind of looks to be the same here for Georgia Tech. I do like that we do have a lot of actual backup linemen that are going to be progressing for us the next several years. So I do kind of like that. We actually have a decent amount of depth here. Probably the most I've seen so far for any team that I've rebuilt. And it's kind of similar with the defensive line. It's going to be a lot of older players. We're going to have to replace these guys in the next couple of seasons. But there is a decent amount to work with this Yellow Jackets team. I mean, linebacker, there's a couple of players. At cornerback, we do have a couple sophomores and juniors, but honestly, not terrible. 81 overall. Hopefully we can get up to like an 84, 85 after this year with a new recruiting class. I think that would be a fairly good goal to have. The first thing I always do is make sure I add prospects to my board that are from the state where my team resides. And obviously for this one, it is going to be Georgia. So all of these 5 stars and 4 stars, I am going to add them at the very start. And I don't know exactly if it's going to work out super well for us, if we're going to have a chance to get these guys or not, but I'm going to at least try early in the first couple of weeks. Maybe we'll have a chance to get some of these guys that Georgia decides to not go after. I mean, that would be very ideal for us, but I'm going to add all these guys and then go back through and any of the other top prospects that were on their interest board, I'm going to add them as well. And hopefully we can round out some good recruiting classes. In this corner right here, Eli Murphy has become a very quick top target for me, 99 speed and a hidden gem. This guy's going to be an insane player for us if we can indeed lock him up. And here's a look at our schedule in year number 1. Our first game, obviously, against Florida State in Dublin. So that would be kind of funny if we did take them down again in this sim. I mean, that would be absolutely incredible. But outside of Florida State, we do have Louisville, who was ranked, Notre Dame, who was ranked, Miami, who was ranked, NC State, and of course, Georgia. So this is going to be a fairly tough schedule in year number 1. I'm kind of just hoping we can make a bowl game this year. And recruiting wise, I've kind of narrowed down to the select players that I do want to go after. And most of those do include players that have us either top 3 or top 5 in their interest meter. And then also just some players that I'm very high on, like Dre Veal, a quarterback, and of course this corner that I showed you in Eli Murphy. He's an absolute stud. And we did, in fact, take down Florida State 26-23. That is absolutely hilarious. And DJU, he did not have himself a good game in this sim as well. 142 yards, 1 touchdown. For us, Haynes King didn't even play super well. 2 picks, but we still somehow managed to get the win behind 2 touchdowns from Jamal Haynes. And after the early stretch of games for us against Georgia State, Syracuse, and FCS East, we find ourselves at 3-1. We did fall to Syracuse on the road. And recruiting wise, our board is down to 12 players now. And for the most of them we are leading are in a very tight battle with some other big school. The only player that we probably won't be able to get, I feel like, is Rashawn Cordova, a middle linebacker. We're number 2, but we don't have his playing style. For whatever reason, I guess maybe our defense has been not performing well, so he doesn't want to play for us anymore. But this corner, we are still number 1. I'm very nervous that Georgia's going to hop into this battle late and steal him. And then this quarterback, we are cruising right now. Hopefully he can be our quarterback of the future, the number 94 player in the nation. But it's going to be interesting with some of these other prospects if we can lock them up or not. But I'm pretty confident we can get at least 8 or 9 4-stars in year number 1. I mean, that would be a fairly good first class for us as we're still kind of building the foundation. But the first game I want to hop into is against Louisville, who was ranked number 13, I believe, in the nation. This is on the road. This would be a great win for us as we try and get ourselves some top recruits. But so far in this game, it does look like it's going to be a slugfest. 3-0, but Louisville is moving the ball inside our red zone again. 2nd and 6 here right up the middle, and we're going to stop them. It's 3rd down. What we know about this Georgia Tech defense is it is very experienced, so hopefully this unit can be good for us this year, and the quarterback is going to find their tight end for 6. I would like to answer before half. We do have a 2-minute drill here, and I'm just going to dump it off to our running back here to Haynes, and he's going to pick up a fairly nice gain here on 3rd and 5. We really just need to get the ball to our playmaker and Singleton Jr., the best weapon we have on this offense. I'm just going to dump it off to the running back here, and unfortunately, he caught out of bounds. So now we get a 3rd and 10. The good news is Singleton is in press coverage top of the screen, and he's going to get some safety help. I'm going to lob into the end zone, and it's going to be dropped. Luckily, though, we do find ourselves still in this ball game. The middle of the 3rd quarter, it is 10-13. I'm going to lob it up into the end zone here, and let's see if Leary can make a catch. And it's swatted away. And now with 2 minutes to go, the Yellow Jackets have a 7-point lead against Louisville here. Number 12 on the road. And here's our tight end picking up a big first. But overall, it looks like our defense has done a great job of limiting them in the passing game. Not even 200 yards passing for their quarterback. And here's another to the outside. It's going to be picked off by Harvey. Beautiful play. And Harvey's going to bring it inside the 30. If we are smart and take care of the ball here, we can put this game out of reach. And I think Leary here on this little in route should be open. He is, and Leary is going to fight for that 1st down. Just no turnover, and we should be able to make this a 2-possession game, and King is going to take a big sack. We got Singleton in 1-on-1 coverage, and there comes the safety. I'm going to lob one up, and that's a very bad throw, but I think we're going to get some pass interference. I think we might get a bailout. And we are, in fact, going to get a huge bailout there. That's 15 yards and an automatic first. So now Louisville has to use all of their timeouts. And 1 first down here should pretty much do it, as Haynes is not going to get it there. But let's get King on the move here and maybe find our tight end on this beautiful little route here. He's not open. I'm going to fire to the 2nd level to find Leary. And we're down at the 2. Literally can just take one more knee, and Georgia Tech is going to walk in to Louisville and take down another ranked opponent. What a good start for us. I know we dropped that game to Syracuse, but taking down 2 fairly good ranked teams early in the season is really big. Getting these recruits and building some morale for the future. And some of these big wins are really helping us. I mean, Dre Veal, we still have a very big lead. This cornerback, who I really want, we have a very big lead as well. And Georgia still has not even offered him a scholarship, which I love to see. I'm still holding out hope that we can get this middle linebacker, although it's not looking super good because Auburn has him on a visit week number 10. They have a lead right now. We are still unable to recruit him because of our deal breaker. Majority of these other guys, though, we do have a very big lead. I'm hoping that we can get Titus Merrick. He's a 4-star recruit, a running back. He could help us out in the backfield, but Georgia currently has a pretty small lead over us. And now we're getting to the point where I am adding some other 4-stars that don't really have any offers yet. You can see it there, the first column on the right. None of these guys really have any major offers, so I'm going to try and swoop in late and hopefully get some of these other 4-stars to sign with our school. I just simmed the bye week, and there we go. Our first recruit is Devin Dunham, a free safety from Atlanta, Georgia. We did, unfortunately, though, lose this middle linebacker. He was a beast, a hidden gem, but we just got locked out because of our playing style. But in the meantime, we took down Duke at home, 24-21, another ACC win for us. But Georgia did steal 2 recruits from us, and they're going to be so annoying all video long. But these 4 top prospects that I've been trying to go after this entire season so far, I have them scheduled for a visit in just a couple of weeks against Notre Dame. I don't know how smart that is, putting all of my eggs in that basket against the Fighting Irish, but we're going to do it anyway, and hopefully we can emerge with the victory. And we did unfortunately fall in the trap game against UNC, 28-13 on the road. And Notre Dame is not doing super good. I mean, they're 4-2, but they are still number 14 in the country. We have already taken down Louisville, who is now ranked inside the top 10, and of course FSU, who is 1-5 and 0-5. I think they might have tuned this sim to kind of mirror FSU in real life this year, because that's kind of crazy. And it is going to be a night game. My first ever time being in Georgia Tech Stadium on this game. This is a pretty sick little intro here. And we have definitely had the advantage so far in this first quarter, moving it up and down the field. No real movement from the Fighting Irish, but here trying to dump it off to Haynes, and he's only going to pick up right back to the line of scrimmage. I don't want to force one, but I also don't want to settle for a field goal, because a touchdown against the number 14 team would be a huge start for us. And I found our tight end, but a little bit too late, but he still made a huge catch, but he's out of bounds. 3rd and 10. Can I find anybody wide open? And I can't. I'm going to force one here to Leary, who's going to hold on, but it's 4th and 4. As much as I don't want to, it's probably smart to just take the field goal here, get the points, and we'll go up 3-0. And this was exactly my fear. Notre Dame tied it up with a field goal, and now they're driving once again as we approach the end of this first quarter. Riley Leonard has them on the move. Some little movement here from the wide receiver, and it's going to be a play action. Can somebody make a play? Somebody get home? Leonard's going to just throw it away. Interesting. We're going to bring some heat now. Hopefully we don't get burned on the boundary, and it's going to be thrown, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. And with 1 minute to go in the first half, we are down by 2 touchdowns. It is really gotten ugly fast. And here, going to check it down, and I don't know if we got it. It's going to be 4th and inches. Haynes King is a massive quarterback, so I'm just going to quarterback sneak it. Hopefully we can pick it up, and he got it. Just barely. And to start this fourth quarter, up by 7 points, Notre Dame is going to go for it. This is a huge play for our defense to get off the field and make a stop, and it's going to be thrown to the flat, but their tight end's going to pick it up. We do, though, have him quickly on 3rd and goal again, and it's going to be thrown in the end zone. How did they not pick that off? And now down by 2 possessions. We have to score quickly, maybe go for 2 if we can score it, but it's not going to be easy. I do see Singleton burning that press coverage, and Singleton down the left sideline is going to hold on. That's a huge play. We do need to hurry up, though, and do it again because clock is ticking. Under 2.5 minutes to go. And Haynes Kings, I'm going to try to lob up, and I'm going to try to lob it to our running back here, and Leary's going to hold on. What a play from Haynes King. But our defense could not hold on, and we're down to 1 timeout. So, it is not looking good here, and I guess we're just going to have to go for some pity points. Outside of Singleton, we don't really have a great threat on the outside. That's definitely something that we need to address. And Singleton, he is going to burn that coverage, be wide open, but as long as we don't get this onside, we don't have a chance to win this game. I am going to be aggressive and try and get this 2-point conversion, but I don't know if it's going to even matter if we can't get the onside kick, and I just take another sack. Going to try and high kick it here and see if we can do something. Maybe sneak this one out, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But things are not going super well for us at the moment. 3 straight losses. We have 3 games remaining in the season against Miami, NC State, and Georgia. I mean, pretty much a gauntlet if you consider Virginia Tech and Notre Dame are also fairly good ranks. But recruiting-wise, we have these 6 players currently signed. I think we have a great chance to also get a good handful of these other 4 stars, and eventually going to round out the class with some other 3 stars. Already added a punter because apparently we did need one. Our class is currently ranked number 28. I think around 20th at the end of the season would be a fairly good first year for us. But in the meantime, our really good start of the season has quickly evaporated. We lost to Miami. We lost to NC State. We have now lost 5 games in a row. And that means our last game at Georgia is going to be a must win if we do want to participate in bowl season. So I do not like our chances and odds at that one. But you know what? Let's give it our best shot and try and shock the world here in Athens, Georgia against this very hostile crowd. I guess it's a blackout. And the first time I'm stepping in, we were down 6-0. So our defense has held in the red zone, but this is a big 4th down. Our entire offense is cold, which is never a positive sign. And here comes a pass rusher, and it's going to be incomplete. I will say so far we are outgaining Georgia in this game. I do wonder also, is Haynes King going to come back for his senior season next year? That's a very fascinating storyline. But after another fairly bad read from me on 3rd down, I'm going to try and kick this field goal. It's about 40 yards away, so nothing too crazy, and I think that should be good. You got to do a 3-point game. I tell you what, our defense is fighting for their bowl eligibility, as once again they get another stop. But again, nobody is getting open downfield to have to take another sack. And our defense is doing a great job, but we just keep on having these 3rd and longs, and nobody can get open against this Georgia secondary. I'm just going to try and run with King here, and that was definitely the play. King is in the open field, and King is going to bring it inside the 25. But just like that, it's another 3rd down. I think that is going to be the key. Just run with Haynes King. And here I'm going to try to juke out this linebacker, but that's not going to happen. So here goes a 38-yard field goal this time on the left hash. I think this should be fairly good as well if we do time it correctly, and I completely whiffed that one. Are you kidding me? I completely whiffed it. Oh, man. And yep, Georgia capitalized that into a touchdown, and now I have to kick this from 50 yards away, and it's going to be short as we go into halftime. What a devastating end of the half. We're now in the 4th quarter, almost down by 3 possessions, and the Georgia offense has just slowly figured it out. We have still more yards than them, but I just guess we cannot power through on offense. So we did force them to a field goal, but our only hope now is to get 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. So I'm not really liking our odds, and we just roughed the kicker. We do have them on another 3rd down, but if they do score this touchdown, our odds of winning this game or at least tying it go from 0 to about 2. And Beck is going to get in the end zone. So, yeah, I don't think we have a great chance to come back in this one. Well, we are going to lose 31-10. We competed fairly well in the first half, but the cream always rises, and Georgia, they take home the win. and we are not bowl eligible. Here's a quick look at what early National Signing Day looks like. We still only have these same 6 players signed. We do still have a hold on these 2 players. I do hope we can take Max, this cornerback, to the offseason, because if we do that, it'll kind of reset and give us the ability to actually finalize and get him on the team. I want at least one of these wide receivers. Bettis, we currently are in the lead for, but we're about to lose McQueen, and Cribbs we're also about to lose as well. But I do really want one of these 4-star wide receivers. And then we also have some other 3 stars to help round out our class, like in the trenches on the offensive line, defensive line, and then specialist, punter, fullback, and hopefully we get some of those guys for those unique positions as well. Our stats for the season: Haynes King had a fairly decent year, 3,100 passing yards, 22 touchdowns to 7 picks. On the ground, only 500 yards for Jamal Haynes. King had 484 himself and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Singleton led us with 757 and 7 touchdowns. Leary had a pretty solid year. Rutherford, a pretty solid season as well. And our tight end, 500 yards. That's fairly decent. And defensively, we did not get a ton of sacks, but we had Romello Height, probably our best player on that unit, have 5.5. And interceptions wise, we only had 2 on the entire year. So our defense definitely needs a few more playmakers. Here was the college football playoff bracket. Miami and Cam Ward defeated Ohio State 23-15 to become national champions. We do have a decent bulk of players trying to leave, including maybe our best player in our team in Jamal Haynes. He wants to transfer to a championship contender, which we are currently not. I'm going to try and get him back, and he is going to stay with us, which is a very big win. Rutherford as well. Will he come back? He won't, so we're going to lose ourselves a pretty solid receiver. Shelley, he's going to stay, so we get ourselves another veteran cornerback to stay, and we lose out on Omar Daniels, and our last one is Kahari Gee, and he is not going to stay. And here in the transfer portal, Isaiah Bond. He went to Alabama. He then moved to Texas. He now has interest in coming to our school. He's from the state of Georgia. We're top 5 in his interest. Hopefully we can get him. I mean, that would be incredible. And this was always the expected outcome. Isaiah Bond is going to Clemson, which that doesn't really make sense since they don't use transfer portal. I thought he would go to Georgia maybe, but no, he's going to Clemson. But we were hammering away on some of these other transfers that are like 2 stars, but I feel like their attributes are fairly decent, especially for our team. It's only an 80 overall. Here was our recruiting class in year number 1. Not as deep and good as I wanted it to be. Only 15 players signed, and it is good for, I think, around like the 40th best class in the country. Yeah, the 35th best in the country. We only had 15 players. I mean, look at all these other classes around us. And we did have 7 4-stars, so I think that is fairly decent for us. But it's going to be very hard to recruit consistently because we are not the top team in our state. Georgia's going to get all of the 5-stars and major 4-stars that they want. But we're kind of left with what's left. And for this season, it was 7 4-stars, and hopefully that can continue to rise in the coming years. Our overall did increase. We're up to an 84 with an 85 overall defense. Our 2 best players are still Jamal Haynes and Haynes King at a 90 and 87. A big issue that I do have is our defensive line. I did not do a super great job recruiting players, and we are very, very thin on that unit. So we're going to have to figure some things out. And our linebacking core is not good whatsoever at left outside linebacker. I mean, that's probably the worst unit I've really seen in this game. But corner and safety, I think we're fairly decent, but I am worried about our defensive line and also just having some depth at our left outside linebacker spot. But here's our schedule heading into year number 2, and this is definitely not going to be easy, probably harder than last year when you consider our out-of-conference games. Colorado to start the season, then a bye week, and then Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Then we still get Virginia Tech, we still get Boston College, number 5 NC State, number 3 Clemson, and then number 9 Georgia. This is going to be a very rough year. And here's the first look at the recruiting board. I'm going with a similar strategy as I did last year, just all Georgia players first, and then some other players that did have us on their interest board. I wanted this quarterback, Leon Kerr, a 5-star, the number 9 player in the nation, but we already have a deal breaker due to playing time, so I don't think we're going to have a chance to get him, unfortunately. But this other 5-star quarterback who is a gem, looks like an absolute beast. He's number 20 in the nation, and we technically do have a chance to get him, but it's going to be a tough battle, I think, against Oklahoma since he is from that state. But hopefully this year we can get a few more 4-stars and maybe even our first 5-star. I was pretty disappointed with how last season went. I feel like we could have done a much better than that. The first game of the season, we did take down Colorado 35-17. That is a good sign for this season, but I would say we started pretty strong last year and things really unraveled. But now we have a showdown against Texas A&M at College Station. This is not going to be an easy game, but it will give us a great opportunity to have a huge advantage on some recruits if we can pull this upset against a number 5 team in the nation on the road. I think this is my first time ever playing in this stadium on this game. This is going to be electric, and it is paramount. We get off to a fast start, and Texas A&M did already get on the board. We have a 3rd and 7 here, and I'm going to fire one up the seam to our tight end. and it's going to be picked off. Completely undercut on the route, and Haynes King going to try and tackle him, and he can, but the opposite of a fast start. I really feel like our defense is going to be the unit that really struggles this year. I showed you guys the depth and the lack of top-end talent. Our offense is pretty old. We have a lot of veterans, but it's going to be tough on defense. But we did force a field goal. I was ready to wave the white flag if Texas A&M did get a touchdown, because I just don't see how we're going to be able to come back from a 2-touchdown deficit plus at Kyle Field. And before I even have a chance to hop in, it's 34-7. We are getting destroyed on the road here, and I don't think it's going to end much better than this. Haynes King has 3 interceptions already today. That's probably why we've already given up 34 points, but definitely not what you want to see from your veteran quarterback on the road. But we're kind of playing for pride at this point because we have no chance to come back from this deficit, and our offensive line cannot block, but King makes a man miss, and King is going to bring it all the way inside the red zone. A&M is just too talented, and with the home field advantage, I just don't see how he can compete. Here goes King outside the pocket again. This is what I really like about King, is his mobility. Another run inside the 5. Try and cut this game to 20 points here, and I'm going to fire it, and I don't know why that receiver just went into the linebacker, and I'm going to throw another interception. We've actually outgained the Aggies, but it's just the turnovers. 4 picks, 2 of them in plus territory. That can just not happen. But here we're going to get in the end zone, score our 3rd touchdown. We have over 400 yards of offense, but only 21 points. And King, I'm going to try to escape here, just try to find our running back, and Haynes is not going to pick it up. But that's going to do it. 44-21. I feel like that kind of shows us how far away we are from really being a true contender in college football. And now we find ourselves in week number 8, and this looks like kind of a throwaway year. We won against Colorado and since then lost to Texas A&M, lost to Temple at home, lost to Virginia Tech at home, and lost at Boston College. We're 1-4, 0-2 in the ACC, probably going to be one of the worst teams in the conference this year. We still have a very tough slate of games to end off the year. So this really is like a transition year for us. I'm really just focusing in on recruiting. There's really not much to show with these games because we are just getting obliterated. And recruiting, honestly, is not going a whole lot better. We do have this 5-star gem quarterback coming on a visit this week against Pittsburgh. We still are number 1 for him. This 5-star defensive tackle, we have him on a visit as well, but Georgia, they are very close to locking him up. And the rest of these 4-stars, we are in some tough battles, but we are losing out on some of these other 4-stars due to, I guess, playing style. I guess our offense has been playing very, very poorly, but our recruiting class is honestly not too amazing, so we're going to have to make some progress. I think at least getting this 5-star gym quarterback could make up for it, although we do have some decent prospects waiting in the wins. But here we go. This is a game that we really need for morale. A 3-and-out for Pittsburgh, and that means we have to go down the field and get off to a very fast lead. Here is King on a beautiful little quarterback keeper, and King is going to bring it, and he fumbled the ball. He fumbled. And now here towards the end of the second quarter, it's 20-7. We are in the red zone, but man, I think ball security is definitely one of our biggest weaknesses so far this year, and nowhere to throw this football. King, I think I can get this edge here. King, a beautiful play, and all of that for 1 yard. Last play before the 2-minute warning, going to find our tight end, and King actually got the ball out, and now it's a 6-point game. A quick 3-and-out made from our defense, and now we have a chance to get the lead before half. Hopefully this time, though, no turnovers. A far throw, beautiful from King. 2nd and inches now, our tight end on this little post corner, and he's going to drop it, and it's going to be intercepted, bro. Oh my goodness. But now here in the 4th quarter, we have a big 3rd and 6 here. Only down by 9 points. We are in the red zone. We have a chance to steal this game, and King, hit as he throws, have to settle for 3. And I guess we missed the field goal. Everything that can go wrong this season is going wrong. I mean, this is truly unbelievable. And here a 4th and 9, trying to escape. There's literally no escape route, but somehow our defense made a clutch stop, and now we have to answer the bell offensively. This has been a nightmare season, and here we go into the end zone. Bettis, our freshman wide receiver, is going to hold on, and now we need to get the ball back for our offense. I don't think we have a single star. Actually, we do. Cornerback. So 1 star on our entire defense, and we need to get a stop. This is a crucial, crucial game for us, and the first play of this drive is not going in our favor. I do think now pick becomes very conservative, and it is going to be a run up the middle, and they're going nowhere. We can't get the ball back. Probably have around 1:40 with no timeouts, but all we need is a field goal and another stop here. It's 3rd. Here we go. This is the play of the game, 3rd and 8. Running back goes in motion. They are going to pass for this one, and he's going to throw it up to the seam, and the tight end is wide open. Nobody on our defense covered him. What a frustrating start to this rebuild. This is not going well so far. And Pittsburgh, all they have to do is really just run this ball out, and that's going to be it. And because of that loss, we missed out on our 2 5-stars. Stephon Dunsmore, he's going to be a generational quarterback, 6'5", hidden gem, 20th in the nation. That one hurts. And defensive tackle DeMonte Penny, he's going to Georgia. So we're down to 3 recruits so far that have signed with us, and things are just not going well. But here's a look at how the rest of our season went. Pittsburgh is now officially ranked, and Temple actually is now number 13 in the country, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's gone pretty much as you would expect. We did have an upset win against Syracuse. We defeated Wake Forest on the road. I think that was a game that we had a chance to win. We lost to NC State. We defeated Duke on the road. We lost to Clemson in a 2-touchdown game. And the last game of our regular season is going to be against the Georgia Bulldogs. I do want to hop into this one. I think I want to hop in every single year against our rivals and just see how closely we can match up with them. I don't want to show too much this year just because of how the season was going. It was definitely not going to be a bowl season for us. And recruiting wise, we only have these 5 players signed, but a ton of 3-star prospects we probably are going to lock up at some point this offseason. But here we go. Somebody hype me up. This is a huge game for us in a meaningless season, winning 4 games so far. We can take down Georgia, ruin their season, and have a pretty nice notch on our belt if we can pull off a huge upset today. As I say every time, we need to get up to a fast start against these top teams, and it's not looking too good for us so far here. It's 3-0, and Georgia is approaching the end zone once again. I think this could be Haynes King's last collegiate game, so it would be nice to get him a win against his rival on his way out. But here's a run up the middle, and Georgia's going to be pushed forward for a touchdown. And it's an absolute destruction. Once again, 27-0. We have 57 yards of offense. And this offense is going to look completely different next year, which probably could be for the better. I mean, they've just not gotten the job done since we've taken over. I mean, Haynes King, 2 picks again. I'm excited for that 4-star quarterback that we did redshirt this year. I'm hoping he's ready to go because next season, he's going to be getting the reins. And going to the end zone here, Singleton, it's incomplete. Bettis on the outside, he was a 4-star as well in last year's recruiting class, but he was so good, and we had a pretty weak spot at receiver, so I put him in. So hopefully he's a lot better next year, and also I hope that some of our other receiver recruits really emerge. But it's pretty clear at this point we're just playing for just some pride, and we're going to go deep to the end zone here in Singleton, and maybe his last game for us gets themselves a touchdown. Well, we made it a little bit less ugly, I would say, than it was at halftime, but definitely not the performance we wanted today. And here across the middle of the field, Haynes, pass broken up. I do like at least that we're going to kind of get a measuring stick playing against Georgia every single year to see how close we are to actually being a championship contender. And so far, these first 2 years, it has not gone well. And very late on the throw there, and it's going to put the icing on the cake. Another pick. But yeah, a absolute blowout, and this is going to be probably the hardest rebuild I've done so far. Here are our stats for the season in Haynes King. He definitely did regress this year, 21 touchdowns to 12 picks. Rushing-wise, though, he had a better year, 714 yards. And Haynes, he was a little bit better this year as well, 646 yards and 7 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Zion Taylor led us in receiving yards. Singleton, who was like our star player just last year, has not really progressed at all. Bettis, our true freshman, over 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. And defensively, I have a feeling this is going to be very, very ugly. 5.5 sacks for EJ Lightsey, and interceptions-wise, actually more than last year with our redshirt sophomore, Nakari Ashley, with 3. Going to go ahead and fire both of our coaches that have a D grade now. I always kind of use that as the meter that I look for in my coaches. They need to at least match what I have, so a C or better. I think that should help both our offense and defense next year. Just be a tad bit better. Preston Stone was the Heisman winner. 38 touchdowns to 0 picks. I saw this guy play against Nevada a couple weeks ago, and yeah, he's not winning no Heisman. And here are the 2 new coaches I'm trying to get. Marquis Ricks, he would be a great addition, pipeline from South Georgia, and Quincy Hippenhammer. That is a name right there from Southern California. I'm not going to lie to you, early National Signing Day does not look super good. I mean, we have a couple of 4-stars and a ton of 3-stars, and we're still trying to lock up a lot more of them. I think we're going to have around the same number of players we had last year, but less 4-stars, more 3-stars. Not a super great recruiting class. We did not get the offensive coordinator I wanted. We had to settle for Arnold Montgomery, pipeline in Alabama, but still runs the spread, C-level prestige. But we did get Hippenhammer. And Boise State went 14-2 and defeated Georgia in the national championship game, 34-28. So if you need any hope right there, there it is. Boise State just won the Natty. I know we can do it. But here's a look at players that are going to be leaving us this offseason. We don't even have a chance to bring back these 2 defensive linemen, which does suck because that is a very weak unit for us. But we are going to be losing our two pillars on offense, and Jamal Haynes and Haynes King. Both of them are expected to be drafted in the middle rounds of the NFL draft. Haynes was drafted in the 3rd round, King in the 4th, and even a right guard in Keelan Rutledge in the 7th. But here is the final look at our year 2 recruiting class. We have 18 players signed. I got a couple of players in the transfer portal, but they're mainly 3 stars or even these 2 stars right here. We did also get this very interesting scrambler archetype quarterback. If you take a look at his scouting, he looks very, very intriguing. 96 throw power, 85 speed, 94 acceleration, has multiple mental abilities, has the star development trait. But he could theoretically be our quarterback of the future if the guy we recruited last year does not have a really good offseason of development. But last year, I think our class was ranked number 35, and this year we are at 40. So we're kind of hovering around that 35, 40 mark, which I don't love. I want to be a lot higher than that, but it is hard. Again, competing against Georgia for Georgia players. I mean, it's one of my main strategies is going after the players that are in the state of where my team resides. And here are our training results heading into year number 3. We do have ourselves the best team so far, 86 across the board. Our best player is Zion Taylor, a 93 overall running back. And he was actually at wide receiver, but we have so many players now at that position group. I went ahead and moved him to running back. I think he was like an 83 overall. I think he jumped maybe 10 overalls in offseason progression, which is kind of ridiculous. But at quarterback, our top option currently is the redshirt senior Zach Pyron. I do not like that our redshirt freshman who we had sit basically all last year is only a 78. That's a little bit concerning. I think I might start him anyway because he has more abilities and mental ability as well, and he just has a higher upside. But I wish he was a decent amount higher than this. I do want to take a look. It doesn't for some reason show the incoming freshman, so I want to take a look and see how good our freshman quarterback is. At receiver, we do have some fairly decent options. Singleton is again back for his senior season. At tight end, we have a redshirt senior and Jackson Long, 80 overall. The offensive line is just serviceable. I think it was last year as well. I feel like we do a pretty good job of just getting around like 80 overalls, but I do want to see those continue to rise in the next couple of years. The defensive line is going to be a lot better next year. Currently, though, we have nobody at right end. I don't know why that says we don't have anybody there. The defensive tackle is fairly deep. At linebacker, we're much better this year and even have an 88 overall at middle linebacker. At corner, Eli Murphy, the guy we recruited with 99 speed. He was redshirted last year. He's going to be playing this year. I'm expecting some big things from him. At safety, we're fairly decent as well. So across the board, a pretty decent roster, but I'm a tad bit concerned about the quarterback position. We need to find our answer there. I do want to also make sure this year that we have a fairly easy non-conference schedule because we've just been getting beat up the last 2 years with that. I just feel like in week number 2, we should not be facing off against Notre Dame quite yet. So I'm going to schedule some cupcakes and hopefully that'll help us, boost our schedule just a little bit. And yeah, our freshman quarterback is only 72 overall. So we have a pretty interesting decision to make regarding who's going to start for us this year. All right, so we are approaching year number 3 now. And for you guys, it was just a quick couple second jump. For me, it's been about like maybe a week and a half since I have been on this file. Just been getting so busy with the start of the NFL season. And of course, we begin this year with our opening recruits and who we're going to go after. Again, just going after people in the state of Georgia and then other players that have us in their top, 9 interest board. And then also just some other 5 stars because we had a ton of recruiting points to use this year to start off the offseason. Schedule-wise for the season, I made sure we have an easy out-of-conference beginning to our season because it's been pretty rough, to say the least, the first 2 years. But then once we get into conference play, Stanford, Pittsburgh, Clemson, and Georgia to end off our season, I think we're in for a pretty tough one, although this is the best overall team we've had so far in the first 3 years of this rebuild. But we are going to be starting the redshirt freshman Dre Veal this year. I kind of mentioned it before that I don't really see the value in starting a redshirt senior in a season where we're probably not going to win maybe 5 or 6 games again. To play the guy with the highest upside and who is still the youngest quarterback currently on our roster, except for the freshman we recruited last year in Jimmy Schneck. That's the name right there, Jimmy Schneck. He's going to be redshirting for us this year and maybe have a chance to start for us the following year if he does take some good leaps and bounds this offseason. But for week number 1 and this season, Dre Veal, he's going to be our starter. In the first game of the season against FCS Southeast, we absolutely destroyed them 52-7, and that is what I love to see out of our squad. And Veal had a pretty decent game, 251 yards and 2 touchdowns, 17 of 19 now. That's pretty impressive. Recruiting wise again this year, I'm really optimistic about this class. I mean, look at all of these 4-star players. We are top and very close to even locking them up to sign with us before we even get to the halfway point of the season. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer than that, but I do like that we're leading for a lot of these guys, even some 5-stars sprinkled in. And then these two other players here, this wide receiver and free safety, haven't even put any hours into them yet, and we're still within their top 5 of their interest. So I'm fairly optimistic again that we can lock up a lot of these players hopefully in the next couple weeks, because last year's recruiting class was pretty mid. If we can get like a top 20 this year, I mean, that would be really, really good for us in the near future. But so far, I mean, we're doing a very, very good job. But we did survive our non-conference schedule. We defeated Appalachian State 41-29, and then Georgia State on the road 22-17. And it looks like Veal might be the truth. 317 yards and 3 touchdowns against App State. You also add in another rushing touchdown. He's been looking really, really good. And against Georgia State, we had a little bit more of a low-scoring game here. And it looks like he might have gotten hurt because we put in Zach Pyron, and he did not perform well whatsoever. I don't see him on the injury report, so I wonder why Veal did not finish that game. Maybe he just had an injury during maybe the first half, like an ankle sprain or something. Why is he not on the injury report whatsoever? But here's the first game of conference play against Wake Forest. I want to get up to a good start, move to 4-0 on the season. And I also want to get a look at Veal and all the new players we have across this roster. 10-6 here with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and Veal kind of looks like Anthony Richardson a little bit. I mean, same number, same kind of build. I'm going to throw up the sideline here, and that was just not a good throw. That's just Rush right there from not playing this game for like 2 weeks. I think I might have just costed Veal his first interception of the season, and now I'm stepping in here, firing to the end zone. It's going to be caught with like no time left in the first half. I don't know why the game lets you sub in with the clock running. But in the fourth quarter now, we have a narrow lead, 17-12. Let's see if we can beat some man-on-man coverage here. Across the middle of the field, a beautiful throw to Bettis right over that linebacker's head. We're in business. Gonna try and get Veal his 3rd touchdown of the game. He does have 2 picks and right over the linebacker again. Risky throw, but that should probably just about do it. We ended up destroying Wake Forest, scoring 21 unanswered in the 4th and winning 38-12. A good kind of little bounce back from the first half for Veal and this offense. With the result of that game, we also locked up our first recruit of the season in Paul Lashley, a right outside linebacker, definitely big for our defense. And now sitting at 4-0, these next 3 weeks are going to be very, very crucial to how good we can be this season. 2 of them are on the road against Virginia Tech and Stanford, and that's until we get into the heart of our conference play against Pittsburgh, Clemson, and of course, ending the season at Georgia is never ever going to be easy. And we got through that stretch 1-2. So not super ideal, but Stanford did turn into a really, really good team. They're now number 14 in the nation. But Louisville 23-13, our offense really could not get anything going. Looks like Veal had another pretty up and down game, 4 sacks with a turnover. Against Virginia Tech, the game that we did win, Veal had a pretty efficient game as well. Did not turn the ball over, which you love to see. And on the ground, he also had 21 yards, but Zion Taylor, he continues to ball out for us. And then this past week, losing by 17 points at Stanford, our defense could not show up, but Veal had a decent game again. 3 touchdowns, 267 yards on the ground. It looks like we did not run the ball much at all. Zion Taylor, only 4 carries. We need to see more, definitely more opportunities for the best player on our team. Recruitment-wise, things are going fairly good. We already have 9 players that have officially signed with us. I'm still working on some of these other players that I've added to the board. We did miss out on a few players we were leaning on early in the season, but I feel like we do have a fairly good class so far, and if we can continue to get some of these other 4 stars and then round out our class again with some of these 3 stars, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to have a top 25 recruiting class, and that'd be the best that we've had so far in this rebuild. But here we go. It's time to play Pittsburgh. This is going to be a super hostile environment for our young quarterback and definitely the hardest start of his career this far. What that means is we need our defense to really help us out today, and we also need a fast start. So we're going to rely on the run here. Zion Taylor, the best player on our team. 3rd and 2. Can we get a push up front? We can, and Zion Taylor's off. Zion Taylor's off into the red zone. Good start. Getting Veal on the move is also a good thing for us because he has great athleticism, but nothing's open here, and I try to throw it away, but I panicked. So now it's 2nd and 21, and you definitely don't want this for a young quarterback on the road. I'm going to fire to the middle of the field. Probably lucky that's incomplete. Gonna run a screen pass here, hopefully just get in field goal range to get up 3-0, and our offensive lineman blocks the pass. So now on the left hash, a 47-yarder. This is not going to be an easy kick, and I think that should be good. I think we have enough power, and we are going to take a 3-0 lead early in the first. Our defense has done a relatively good job so far. I mean, we're in the middle of the second quarter, and Pittsburgh is finally knocking on the door. But the bad news is we have not done enough offensively, so it's only a 6-point game. We need a goal line stand here. So here we go on 3rd and goal, run committing up the middle. I'm using Boyd, the star of our defense, and it's actually going to be play action, and we're going to hit him before he can get the ball off. They're going to have to settle for 3. And Veal and the offense are trying to answer here. 3rd and inch is going to run an RPO. Just want to hand this ball off, and we are going to pick up the first down with Zion Taylor. And I just don't love this offensive scheme. Again, only 3 carries for Taylor in the first half. Why is the best player on our team not being featured? I'm going to try to get outside of the pocket here, and Veal easily going to walk in. And we have a decent lead here in the 2nd quarter. We're now holding a 3-point lead in the 4th quarter, and we are in the red zone. So if we can capitalize with points here, go up by 10 with less than 4 minutes to go, I think we're in great shape. And Veal, look at the speed he's going to take off and pick up a huge first down. Veal definitely has some really nice mobility to him. I think we do need to utilize that a little bit more. But here on the jet sweep, we have Bettis, and here we're going to take it. Should be wide open for a touchdown, and we're going to take a 10-point lead with only half the quarter to go. 30 seconds to go. As long as we recover this onside, the game is over. I got the hands team out there. We're going to hold on, and that should be a top 3 team on the road that we just took down. That is an unbelievable win for the program of Georgia Tech, and maybe this gives us some momentum to end off this season with the gauntlet of the schedule we have upcoming. And we actually did take the momentum of the Pittsburgh game, who are now actually unranked. We kind of ruined their season. But we lost to Clemson in a pretty tight game on the road, but then took down Duke in dominating fashion and Boston College, both of them at home. We're now number 23 in the nation, 8-3 on the year, 5-3 in the conference, which we're 3rd in the ACC. And our last game is at Georgia. This is obviously not going to be an easy game. They're 9-2. Number 6 in the country, but they're only 1 game better than us technically this year, and our overall has boosted up to an 87. So maybe this could be the year we shock the world. Ahead of us is Stanford and Florida State. I'm not exactly sure who both of these teams play this week, but maybe if Florida State loses, could we have a chance to make the ACC championship game? I mean, that would be amazing. But recruiting wise, we are up to 12 players. We still have a lot of other guys coming on visits, and I'm pouring a lot of hours into these 3 stars to help round out our class. We currently sit at number 13 in the country in terms of our recruiting class this year, 11 4-stars. So definitely the best class we've had that's still without the transfer portal. Maybe we can even get some more high-end players, but actually a fairly good season for us. Definitely the best so far of this rebuild, recruitment-wise and just on-field performance. But we can turn a good season into a potentially great season if we can shock the world today against Georgia, who is kind of our big brother until further notice. And look at this start. I actually just realized, why is Pyron in at quarterback? It should be Veal. I'm going to change that. But we have a great start here, 3-0, and we have the ball in the red zone again. So here we go, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. I'm going to dump it off to the running back, and it's going to be caught by Zion Taylor, and we're in for 6. It's 10-0 on the road. Before I can even hop in the game again, Georgia has scored 21 points. Our defense has been really struggling, but again, a dump off to the running back, it's wide open, and Zion Taylor, he's our best player. They're going to have to cover him. Another key 3rd down here, and not much open. Can Veal take off? He can't, and we're sacked. And not only did we miss the field goal, but Georgia got one of their own. So they're up by 7 points now with 1.5 minutes to go. Going to dump it off here in the flat to Bettis, who's going to hold on for 5 yards. But it's tough when your quarterback is cold on the road against the #1 environment in the league. But a couple first downs definitely did help that. But now running back in the flat again for 1 yard. It's just the pass rush for Georgia gets home so quickly. I kind of have to just fire to the first read that I see open. And again, across the middle of the field, it's going to be caught by Bettis. And Bettis is in the open field for a huge gain. We're moving it here on Georgia's defense in this first half. We have a chance to tie the game up before halftime. And here's Veal again, firing into the middle of the field to Carey, who's going to dive in the end zone. And we're tied. Our redshirt freshman quarterback is showing some guts here on the road. But again now, here we are on 3rd and 7, going to pick it up, trailing by a touchdown. If we're going to win this game, our defense is going to have to make a play. It comes down to forcing a turnover, getting a couple stops, something. And here, nothing's going to throw it away. Don't want to take a sack. I really don't like that every single skill position player is cold on our team. But here is Zion Taylor. Zion Taylor picking up 9 yards. Just going to do that again and run it up the middle. Just going to keep it simple here on 3rd and inches. And as long as we can block their star-studded defensive line, we got a first down. We can Zion Taylor inside the 5. I love this jet touch pass. And again, Bettis, he's going to come in motion here, and we should have the edge if we get some key blocks, and we do. Cut it up inside, and Bettis, he's in to tie the game up. But Georgia, they scored a field goal. They're up by a 3, and they have another key 3rd and 8 here. He's going to go to the sideline, but it's short. And now we've got a chance. 3.5 minutes to go. 2nd and 6. Our redshirt freshman quarterback on the road in hostile environment. Can he make something happen? He's going to run out here, and he's going to pick up the first down. I tell you what, Veal has some wheels to him. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him in his first ever year starting. And again, nobody open, just take off and run, slide and pick up a first. I want to choose some clock, but we also need to be mindful that it's going to be hard to move down the field against this Georgia defense. And here, a little bit of a risky throw, and it's going to be dropped. The clock stops, and it's 2nd and 10. Veal just take off and run again. There's a penalty on the field. I think it's going to be holding on our offensive line. And yes, it is going to be that. So now we're in a pretty tough spot here. 2nd and 20. Veal is going to have to make a play, again with his legs. I mean, they're just not even covering him. And Veal taking off. Veal gets it to 3rd and 2. It's the 2-minute warning. The crowd here in Athens is going crazy. Can we pick up the first down? Right in the flat to the running back. Just hold on. Taylor could have had so much yardage, but at least we pick up the first. 1st and 10 again. Cross the middle of the field. Zion Taylor. He's in to bring the ball all the way inside the 25-yard line. Less than a minute to go now. Zion Taylor could not get open. I'm going to fire it to him. Zion Taylor in the end zone. He's going to hold on. Veal. What a play from our redshirt freshman quarterback. And Georgia Tech is going to take the lead with 36 seconds to go. With a 4-point lead, we can just not allow a touchdown. That gives us a great chance here. They're going to go deep, and it's going to be picked off by Franklin II. What a turn of events. And Franklin, he's going to bring it inside our territory. I can't believe it. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets go into Athens, Georgia in year number 3 with a redshirt freshman quarterback and upset them with 2 amazing plays down the stretch. What a game. We end the season 9-3 and 5-3 in the ACC with 3 amazing wins to end off the season. Unfortunately, though, we're only number 19 in the nation. We did not make the ACC championship game, so we are not going to make the college football playoffs in year number 3, but definitely a big leap for us this season. We did make the Military Bowl, though, our first one of this video against the UAB Blazers, which is kind of an interesting matchup, I guess. Why not hop in here and get our first bowl win of the video and really get us some good momentum heading into next season. And the Blazers actually strike first, 7-0, but we are on the move here with our star-studded quarterback. Yes, I'm ready to call him a stud after what he did against Georgia, but here we're going to be a little bit short, 4th and 1. We're going to go for this. I don't know why the backup running back is in now, but still we're going to rely on him, and Dickens is not going to pick up the first down. But so far, UAB has really had our number. We haven't been able to do anything offensively, but here's Veal right up the middle, and we're going to pick up that first down, trying to get some points before half. 1st and 10 now. I don't really see much open. A lob one to the middle of the field. Risky throw, but Long's going to hold on. Might try and lob one to the end zone here if we can get a nice matchup. And there is Singleton, our best receiver. He is going to hold on to that one, looking like Randy Moss. And our defense must have forced a turnover because, once again, with only 53 seconds left in the half, we're on their side of the field. Singleton again, one-on-one coverage. Singleton, and it's going to be picked off. What a play from their corner. And now we're in desperation mode, down by 17 points here. I'm going to allow one up to Singleton here. He should catch on to this one. Beautiful throw and catch. Down by 10, but we still have a pretty decent hole to come back from. Our defense has been getting shredded all game long. I don't know what's going on here, but we need to stop on this 3rd and 4. It's going to be a screen pass. We get a hit on the quarterback. That keeps it a 2-possession game, but we still need to score some points here to keep the pressure on UAB. Little out route here, risky play. Their cornerback makes a great play. I probably just need to stay away from him because he's just been breaking up a lot of passes for us, but here's Veal. I can't outrun that defensive lineman. Veal's just going to have to throw it, and it's incomplete. Quick stop from our defense, so we still have some life. I don't know how the defensive lineman was able to keep up with our 90-speed quarterback, but here to the end zone, easily burning that corner one-on-one coverage. 1-possession game. And now our defense, I think, figured it out. I don't know why we just went for 2 or something, or maybe missed the extra point, but now we're only down by 7 points instead of 6. But Bettis, nice conversion, moving the chains. 2nd and 2 now. Singleton is not going to be open. I'm just going to run with Veal. He's wide open, picking up another huge gain. And now towards the end zone, Long, corner of the end zone is going to hold on. It's a tie ball game just like that. The Blazers go 3 and out once again, and it's time to return this punt and make something happen here. Hopefully it doesn't automatically fair catch it for me, but what a punt. We're actually going to get a return here, try to get to the edge, and nothing's happening. 2 minutes, 14 seconds, tie game. We were in this similar situation last week. Can Veal make a play again? The first play, he's going to fumble. And UAB is going to return it for 6. That is genuinely unbelievable. So now we're trying to tie the game. And this first pass, it's going to be caught for 1 yard. What a devastating play from our redshirt freshman quarterback. And here I'm just going to allow one up down the field. It's in double coverage, though, and it's going to be picked off. Why do I keep targeting this star corner? No timeouts now. Our defense made his stop. 2 pretty bad plays for me, and here we go again, burning the star cornerback. He couldn't make a recovery on that one, though, but we're inside the red zone. I think the play here is to score and go for 2. Not do overtime in the Military Bowl. They're probably just not really worth it here. But Veal trying to get open, can't find anybody, just throw it away. Taking a lot of time off the clock. 2nd and 10 now, don't really see anything open. Veal has pressure again, just take off and run. And Veal, he's going to bring it inside the 1 yard line. So let's go no huddle here and just try to run it in. We've got Zion Taylor, one of the best running backs in the country. I'm going to wait till maybe 20 seconds to snap this just in case we don't score. We have some time, but if we do, we make sure that UAB does not have a ton of time themselves to go down the field and score, and Zion Taylor is going to be short, so we got to hurry up a little bit. I don't know how he didn't get in there, but we're down to 14 seconds now. Hike the ball. Zion Taylor, he's in. Touchdown. 10 seconds to go, and we're going for 2. Going to run some slants. There's a lot of linebackers in the middle of the field, and I'm going to fire it, and it's going to be broken up. It's incomplete. Ohio State went on to defeat Oregon 24-17 to win the national championship game. We had 2 teams, Stanford and Florida State, represent us, and Stanford actually had themselves a really, really good season. Here was a look at our players leaving. Zion Taylor's up to a 97 overall. He's going to be a first-round pick, probably a top 5 or top 10 pick in the draft. But even outside of him, a lot of redshirt seniors. So we're going to have a lot of playing time to replace this year, including Eric Singleton Sr. So this is going to be interesting next year, how we combine the momentum that we just had to end off this season, but also having a lot of young players needing to step up. But here is our official recruiting class for the 2026 season. We have over 20 players signed, numerous 4 stars, a few 3 stars as well, even this player out of the transfer portal and Jericho Washington Jr. But it is good for the number 12 class in the country ahead of schools like Texas, LSU, Alabama. I mean, that is an amazing recruiting class for us. But here's a look at our trending results. Our best player is Jordan Boyd, a 90 overall middle linebacker. Quarterback wise, still our best player is not going to be Dre Veal. I don't understand the progression of quarterbacks in this game. He's impact dev. He has all of the physical and mental abilities, and he jumped up, what, maybe 1 or 2 overalls from last season where he played the entire year. Jimmy Schneck didn't really progress much as well, and he's, I think, a star dev. So I don't really understand the progression of quarterbacks in this game, but definitely not what we want to see. Running back Evan Dickens, who was our backup last year, he's 97 speed. He's going to be our starter this year. Receiver, we're a little bit more thin as well. Isaiah Canyon is our number 1 receiver. Tight end, a 79 overall. The offensive line is actually fairly decent, maybe the best unit on our offense, which is kind of surprising. Defensive line, we are definitely really stout up front. We go 3 deep on defensive tackle. Our linebacking core is really good as well. So our defense is going to be really, really good this year. I'm a little bit concerned about our offense because we do not have really a ton of progression at key spots. But heading into the season, we are the number 12 team in the country, and once again, our opening schedule is not too hard. Arkansas State, Indiana, a bye week, and then Virginia begins conference play. This year, we have to play UNC, Florida State, Miami, and of course, Georgia to end off the season. Here's our first look at recruits and this 5-star quarterback in Milo Boodle. That's a name right there. He's very interested in coming to Georgia Tech. We don't really have a huge need for him, but I mean, if we could get a 5-star quarterback, that'd always be cool. We have Emmanuel Acho here. I guess he retired from his career in media and is back in college football. He's also interested in coming to Georgia Tech. And Bobby Bodrow, not Bordeaux, but Bodrow. So Bodrow, he also has some interest in going to Georgia Tech. But once again, I mean, we have a ton of players that have a lot of interest in coming to our school. Same method as I've been doing the last couple of seasons. I again think we have a really, really good chance to lock up a top 15 class like we did last year. For starting quarterback this year, I do think I'm going to start Dre Veal again. I mean, I do think he was very good last year. He's still younger than Philo, who is a slightly higher overall, but I still think just the upside of the running ability of Veal will help out our offense. And through the first 2 weeks, we're up to the number 7 team in the country. We beat Arkansas State 30-17, then Indiana 27-12. So 2 pretty convincing wins to start the season. And recruitment wise, 3 of our top players, we have a deal breaker now because of playing style. And we even have this 5-star quarterback who we were leading for. We're probably not going to be able to get him or these 2 other really, really good players. In the meantime, we took home another win, this time against Virginia, 29-24. I mean, these games are getting a little bit too close for comfort here. Veal had his best game of the season, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. We did, in fact, though, miss out on the 5-star quarterback who committed to Kentucky, of course, because we couldn't recruit him or do anything regarding that. We do have a chance to go after this lineman and the running back, though, again. I don't know how our playing style just drastically changed in 1 week, but we're going to try and get these guys. We'll see if we can make it happen. But I want to hop into this game at Notre Dame. They are 3-1 on the year. They're not currently ranked, but I think they're just on the cusp of being ranked. And with how close some of the games have been for us to start this season, I want to try and give us a little bit of a boost as we get into the heart of conference play. And we are not off to a great start. Notre Dame, they are the first team to enter the red zone. Here's a 1st and 10 from the 18, and it's going to be a wide open receiver. How did that happen? And just like that, Notre Dame is once again right back in the red zone. Our offense has been pretty pitiful so far, and it doesn't look like our defense has been much better either. Their running back already has over 100 yards rushing in the first 2 drives of this game. Big play here. It would be really rough to be down 2 touchdowns on the road in the rain, and we're going to get a sack here. Beautiful play from our defensive line. And the first time hopping in on offense here is a 3rd and 10. The crowd is going crazy. Can somebody get open here? Going to lob it up to our tight end, and he is going to hold on. He's going to break a tackle as well. Look at Braham rumbling and stumbling forward. Going to dump it off to our running back here, and we're going to pick up again a pretty decent gain. 2nd and 4 now. Instant pressure. Just going to take it with Veal. Veal, he is into the end zone. Using those legs is got to be a key for us this year. And just like that, we're right back on offense and have a chance to go down the field and score before half once again. 3rd and 10. I don't see anything open. The pass rush is going to get after us again. And Notre Dame scored in what? 5 seconds? 17-7. They might have returned the punt or something like that. Crazy. But here we go. Cross the middle of the field. Our CR wide receiver. Beautiful throw from Veal. And once again, we are in business. Screen pass to carry, and I hate when that happens. Gets stuck in an animation, can't get it off. So now we're behind the chains again on 3rd and 10. We cannot be in this situation with this pass rush. Gonna lob one up down the field, and it's going to be caught by Horn. I don't know how that was caught. It was a prayer. It was 100% a prayer. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a prayer. But here we go, Carey on this little running back screen. Can we get it off to him this time? We can. And Carey is going to find his way to the 1-yard line. First and goal at the 1, and Carey is in for 6. It's a 3-point game again. To start the second half, Notre Dame scored. They're up by 10 points again, but we have a 4th and 2 here, a crucial play, and we're not going to get to the edge. We did get ourselves an interception, so that kind of makes up for it there. But definitely would have liked to get some points and instant pressure again. I feel like I had the same problem in every rebuild. It's the offensive line, but we saw the unit heading into the season. It was probably the best on our offense. And here we go across the middle of the field. Horn in for a touchdown. He's emerging as a good player. But our defense, anytime our offense makes a play, our defense is struggling to answer. Notre Dame is once again in the red zone. Boyd can't get out there, and it's going to be short. 2nd and 5. Receiver's going to come in motion here. It's going to be a jet toss, and we do have a player there to stop him. It's 3rd and 1. Risky, but I'm going to run commit here. Probably not the smartest decision, and it's not. It's going to be a free touchdown. And now to start the 4th quarter, we have a 4th and 4. This could pretty much be the ball game here. And firing across the middle of the field. Beautiful throw from Veal with the pressure in his face. Huge conversion. But I don't know what happened. We did not score on that drive. And here on 3rd and 5, Notre Dame's going to pick up another 1st. It's not looking good. Pretty much the ball game here. 3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. Need a big stop to make it a 2-possession game. It's going to be a pass, and their quarterback's going to try to escape. He's going to fumble the football, but of course they land on it. And the first time I hop in, I'm tasked with a 4th and 22. Going to fire one up the seam, and it's going to be swatted away. That's going to be the ball game. We fall to number 13 in the nation, dropped 10 spots, which is really, really brutal. But the next bulk of our schedule is really not too hard against Syracuse, Wake Forest, SMU, and North Carolina. It's just really the end of the stretch against 2 Florida schools and, of course, Georgia. And through the first 2 weeks of this test, we were passing with flying colors, defeating Syracuse 36-7, Wake Forest 38-14. I mean, 2 pretty big blowout wins. And recruiting-wise, we only have 5 visits so far, but a few players on visits. And now I'm continuing to add just more players to the back end of our board that aren't really getting recruited a ton. And when you see these 4 stars, I mean, they are like around the 150, 200 range nationally, but they're still really, really good players, and really no other school has really offered them a scholarship yet, have really put in a lot of recruiting hours. We're going to swoop in late and get a lot of these players. We did get ourselves Emmanuel Acho. Welcome to the team. We did miss out on this 5-star receiver, though, Lee Rainbolt. He would have been an awesome get for us, probably the best player we've gotten this entire video so far. The number 9 player in the nation. That definitely sucks. We just missed out on him. We destroyed SMU, but unfortunately lost to North Carolina 35-29. That definitely hurts because I thought we were kind of past these upset losses. Veal didn't have a bad game, but didn't really stand out. Only 183 yards and a touchdown in the air. Well, here we go. A game against Florida State, who are ranked inside the top 10. This is really, I feel like, could potentially be make or break for the college football playoffs. 7-2, so we got ourselves a safety, but we still have a deficit. We are in the red zone, though, and this first pass is going to be dropped. A little bit risky there. I need to remember I can rely on the running game. Our offensive line is really, really good. We don't have an amazing back, but I do think Dickens and Carey are decent enough, and here's Dickens right up the middle for 5 yards. 3rd and goal now. We're going to get outside the pocket and fire across the middle of the field, and Bettis is going to hold on. That was so risky. Veal has some like voodoo magic as a quarterback, and you love to see that. But here's Florida State responding as they're already inside our red zone. Outside Carey here, and he's going to cut back for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 now, a nice little bubble screen, and he is going to take it inside the 5. Our red zone defense is fairly good, but this time the running back is going to dive in for 6. And just like that, we are down 21-9. Need some points before half, but just really not a good start for us. And Veal is going to take a massive sack. 3rd and 23. Can we get a miracle? I'm going to throw it up the seam to our tight ends, and Branham is going to hold on to that. What a catch. That could potentially be like a game-saving play if we can get a touchdown on this drive. And he's open again, and Veal's in the fumble. Luckily, we're going to pick that up. 3rd and 19, just going to hand this ball off, trying to pick up some yards here, and we're going nowhere. And to start this 4th quarter, it's not looking good. We're down by 19 points. We do have the ball here inside the red zone, but we're going to need a lot of points very, very quickly, and this is not a good start with our running back just sitting there, like move upfield. 2nd and 7 now, the slant route open in the end zone, going to fire it, and it's going to be picked off. Took too long to get there, and that should just about do it here in Florida State. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. We're down by 5 with a minute to go in all 3 timeouts. We've been here before. We just have to get a stop, call these timeouts, and make a miracle happen. 2nd and 9 now. It's going to be another carry here. Timeout. One more stop. This should be yet another carry on 3rd and 9. It is, and I think he's short. He's short by an inch. Oh my goodness. And Florida State is going to punt the football. Oh my goodness. I thought they were maybe going to go for it, kick the field goal, but they're going to punt us the football back, and we have a chance to go win this game. Veal, he did it last year against Georgia, and they're already starting off pressing our receivers. I'm going to lob one up deep. It's against the safety. I think he can outrun him. Canyon is going to hold on to it. Hurry up. 36 seconds to go. Veal, with his unreal arm talent, out through the safety there, and we have plenty of time now. Veal, just run. Just run. Fire to the end zone. Veal, it's going to be... It's dropped. Horn, how do you drop that? Oh my goodness. It was a beautiful throw on the move from Veal. And he's going to drop the go-ahead touchdown on a little out route here. Going to get the first down and get out of bounds. Huge. 22 seconds to play. 4 verticals here. I'm going to fire to the end zone. And oh my goodness, that linebacker made an unbelievable play. Let's try this again. 2nd and 10. Firing to the end zone again. And it's going to be picked off. Oh my goodness. Why did I force it? I just didn't even need to force it, and we're going to lose because of it. Oh my goodness, that's just a heartbreaker. Wow, the season really, really spiraled for us. We have lost 4 games in a row ever since just going on a nice run, destroying Syracuse, Wake Forest, and SMU, dropping to UNC, dropping the heartbreaker to Florida State, and then losing to Cal and Miami on the road. Georgia is also 6-5 this season, so we're both kind of having down years this year. But after a really big step from us last year, definitely not the year that we wanted. I mean, I feel like we were on pace to at least equal that this year, but just a tough end of this season. With how disappointing the end of the season has been, a win against Georgia would help a little bit, and here we are in the red zone trying to tie the game up early. From being the number 3 team in the nation to now being unranked, It just definitely sucks. Here I'm going to find our tight end. He's going to break a couple of tackles and find his way in the end zone. But Georgia's offense just keeps on scoring. That's kind of the method to beat them. You just keep it close, and then have a game-winning drive. That's what we did last year. And here we're going to dive over to tie it up again. But again, the CPU is putting me in with less than 5 seconds to go. But we're going to throw a dot into the end zone. It's going to be dropped at the end of half. We should have just had a field goal. And now late in the third quarter, we're down by 12 points. So we have to have a comeback just like last game. And here we go. Bettis. Beautiful throw from Veal. It's just been struggling these last several weeks. We just can't get off the field. I don't know what it is. 3rd and 5 here. Here comes the receiver in motion. But man, we just got to get a stop. It's going to be right up the middle. That's a huge play. We needed that. We at least have a chance now to tie it up with a 2-point conversion. Obviously, we want that lead. Going to dump it off here to Harvey, who's going to break a tackle. Pick up a pretty big gain. Approaching the red zone, dumping off to our tight end. Smart decision. He's going to pick up 8 yards. Going to run a fake jet sweep here, hand it off inside, and Dickens, he's going to pick it up. Might try to utilize the legs of Veal here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. The linebacker that was waiting, and Veal's going to fumble the football. But luckily, a lineman dove on it. The money down. 3rd and 6. Veal, get outside the pocket. Going to fire to the end zone. Cross the body. It's held on to. We got to go for 2 to tie this up. But the CPU did not let me go for 2. They went for it, did not get it. But we have the ball back. And now we have a chance to go down this field, get a field goal and win it. And Veal, I tried to slide there, but we're going to take the huge carry. We do have a freshman kicker, so we don't want to have him kick like a 50-yarder. And here's Veal again. They're just not going to cover the quarterback run, slide in bounds. Perfect. I probably want to pick up 1 more first down, and that should be perfect, I feel like. Going to lob it up to Horn, who's going to hold on. That was sketchy. And now I'm just going to try and center it up, get as many yards as we can. Dickens, right up the middle. All right, time to spike the football. That should be good. But here we go, from 30 yards away. Our freshman kicker has a chance to be the hero against our cross-state rival in Georgia. Lining it up, and it should be good. And it is Georgia. 2 years in a row. I think we just took him down. 37-36, a walk-off field goal. And we just found ourselves the Georgia killer. That is Veal. 2 straight years in a row, 2 straight game-winning drives. He's the man. And our defensive coordinator is down to a D+ for his prestige, so I think that is a big reason why our defense has been struggling, so he is going to be gone. We earned ourselves the Gasparilla Bowl against Western Michigan, so we better destroy them this time and get our first bowl win. That sounds kind of crazy, but our first bowl win. And we're kind of in a dogfight here against Western Michigan, up by 5 points in the 4th quarter. This is why our defensive coordinator was fired, because his unit is just not performing well. And here's Veal, picking up a first down. But I mean, come on. We should be dominating Western Michigan. We were a top 3 team in the country at some point this year. There's honestly no excuse. There's really no excuse. And here we're going to find Bettis. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and that should just about do it. Up by 12 now. I just want to run up this score. We got to make it seem like it wasn't this close. Going deep again. It's going to be caught by Horn. Our receivers are going to be a lot better next year. We've got the ball again. I'm going to do a couple carries here and then try to score. Actually, we're just going to walk in the end zone here. It's going to be a touchdown. We just completely obliterated them the final couple of minutes of this game. 49-23 is the final score here from Tampa, and we finally get ourselves our first bowl win. For our new defensive coordinator, I think Conrad Keys is going to be the man here. They're all C prestige. They run the same exact defensive scheme. I just realized that I forgot to show the stats last season, but Dre Veal this year, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks, 3,500 yards passing. Rushing wise, 500 yards, 8 touchdowns, and Carey and Dickens, kind of a split backfield. Did not really run for a whole lot of yards. Receiving, the wealth was spread out a lot between Bettis, Canyon, Horn, and Branham. And defensively, Nakari Ashley, who I do think we recruited, if I'm not mistaken, had 7.5 sacks, interceptions-wise. 6 picks for Jarek Petricord. That's a ridiculous season. We had Wisconsin defeating Charlotte 41-21 in the national championship. Probably the most random matchup that I've had my entire year so far playing this game. Here's a look at players that are going to be leaving after this season. A good bulk of redshirt seniors, including some on the offensive line, which definitely sucks because that unit was pretty good last year. We do have 3 underclassmen that are trying to leave as well, so we're going to try and persuade Dunham, and he is going to come back. That's awesome to see. But these 2 freshmen, can we get them to come back? Lashley, a 75 outside linebacker, true freshman. He's not going to come back. And can we get Chung? We are going to get him. So we're going to get a receiver back, but we're not going to get a really, really good linebacker to come back. The recruiting class is complete. We have 18 players signed. Again, a lot of different positions. We didn't really add a ton through the transfer portal. Not a ton of players this year. Only a couple of 2-stars. And I just don't really think they have a lot of value to this team. Our class was good for number 19 in the nation, which we will definitely take. 13 4-stars again is a huge get for us. And the trending results for this team, I could not be happier with. 89 overall across the board, definitely the best team we've had by a pretty wide margin. Vila at quarterback is up to an 87 with a 95 speed. I think this is probably going to be his ceiling for us. But with this overall boost, I think he definitely is good enough. We even have Washington and Schneck winning in the wins for us. I mean, they still are very, very young. At running back, two pretty solid options still with Carey and Maddox is going to be taking over as our backup. Receiver this year, we are very, very deep with a lot of really, really good players. Nesbitt and Canyon are our two top guys. At tight end, again, two pretty good options. I think I am going to start Branham, though, over Mechie, really just because of the speed. 72 speed is just not good enough for the tight end position. But look at the offensive line. 88, 89, 85, 87, and 91. And look how deep we are at tackle. That is absolutely absurd. Our defensive line is really, really good as well. Oh my goodness, we are just so deep in the trenches. Every single trench unit has so many players. Our linebacking core is good as well. Our secondary does look pretty thin. We do still have Eli Murphy with his 99 speed, but at safety, we have pretty good options as well. I mean, this team is really, really good. I think we do have a lot of other freshman cornerbacks that are not showing up currently because they didn't really have those training offseason boosts. And here's a look at our schedule heading into year number 5. I think this is the longest rebuild that I've played out so far. It's been a journey with Georgia Tech so far, but our overall has been boosted up even further to a 90 overall across the board. Our first game is going to be at San Jose State. That should not be too hard of a game, but then against number 13 Charlotte at home. But after Charlotte, who was in the national championship game just a season ago, we kind of have a bunch of cupcakes, at least on the preseason outlook of the schedule so far. We do end the season with Clemson, who is ranked, and Georgia, which is never going to be an easy game. But honestly, this kind of looks like our easiest schedule in the past, 2 or 3 years. And here's the first look at a recruiting class heading into year number 5. It's the exact same strategy I've been using, going after players mainly that are in the state of Georgia, also that have us in their interest board, either top 3, preferably either top 5 as well, and then just other position of needs. And I feel like so far the last 2 years at least, we have gotten ourselves some fairly good recruiting classes, and hopefully this year again, we can do the same. And honestly, for us, this is a disastrous start. 2-2 with Charlotte and Pittsburgh taking us down. At home against Charlotte, they were ranked when they played us, but they're now 2-2. They're not a super good team. They lost a lot of players from their national championship squad just a season ago. We beat San Jose State and FCS Southeast, but I mean, those are probably like two of the worst teams in the country. And now we're really going to get into the thick of things here against Stanford, Louisville, California. Clemson is now the only ranked team we have left this season, but we're probably going to have to win out to make the ACC championship game, have a chance at the college football playoffs. Just a very uninspiring start so far for us. And I don't really know what else we could have done. And because of our rough start, recruiting hasn't gone super well either. We haven't even locked up one player yet. We are in the lead for a few. We are in some tough battles with other schools for a couple more. But it is looking like this is going to be one of our smaller classes that we've had in the past couple of years, and also might not be as top heavy as we've gotten because of just how poor things have gone so far. But I want to hop in here against Stanford and give us a great start to the heart of conference play. And here already in the red zone, I'm going to fire one up to the tight end, and he's going to hold on. 7-0 Georgia Tech. We need to blow these guys out for morale. We are dominating. We have over 247 yards, but only 7 points. That's just not acceptable. And here's Veal with his 95 speed now. That is pretty ridiculous for the quarterback position. But here we go at the 3 slant routes. I'm going to fire right here, middle of the field, and it's going to be caught by Emerson through traffic. We once again take the lead. 7-point ball game here, 3rd and 4 in the 4th quarter, and I'm going to find the slant route, middle of the field again, and Nesbitt with a beautiful catch in the middle of the field. 4th and 9, though, they're just going to take my field goal, bring us up by 2 possessions. Hopefully we can knock it through, and that is going to be good. 10-point game with 3 minutes to go. Stanford is going to go for it here on 4th and 10. Pretty much the ball game. If we can just get them off the field, and going to be up the sideline. It's going to be picked off. Murphy, beautiful play, and that should just about do it here. 30-17, a much-needed win against a pretty decent opponent here for conference play. We're going to move to 3-2, and hopefully this gives us some momentum for the rest of the season. I'm flying by this season, but we are 7-3, 5-2 in the conference. We defeated California, we defeated Duke, but then we stumbled against SMU, losing 22-16. We did bounce back and beat Virginia 35-29. But the final 2 games of our season is against number 1 Clemson, who is 10-0, and number 5 Georgia, who is 9-1. If we win both of these games, I think we will make the college football playoffs. If we lose one of them, we're probably out. So it's kind of must win from here on out. As a 90 overall team, if we do want to make a postseason run, we have to take care of business against two of the best teams in the country. Recruiting wise, we have 7 players officially signed at this point. I'm still battling out for a few other key players, but not as many 4-stars this year. A lot of other 3-stars we're trying to round out our class with. But we got a couple hidden gems like this running back here, Isaac Myers. He looks really, really good. Could potentially start for us next year. 94 speed, 91 acceleration. I think he's going to be a very high overall from the jump. But here we go against Clemson. It looks like they have Deshaun Watson back as their quarterback. Tell me that doesn't look like Deshaun Watson. Same number and everything. We're going to make a huge pass break up there. But that's crazy. Clemson really got Deshaun Watson to come out of retirement. I guess things didn't work out with the Browns. And he's back. And we just ran to the kicker. Are you serious? What an unreal start. And now Deshaun Watson's going to hand the ball off inside, and their running back is going to bring down to the 6. So let's make another 3rd down stop here. Play action. And we're going to get after Watson. Watson's going to take a sack. They're going to have to settle for 3 again. And so far in this game, we have over 100 yards. Clemson has 15. We have to capitalize once we do make the red zone, and Veal cannot escape there. It's probably a bad play by me. We cannot kick field goals all game if we're going to win this game. Veal, just throw it. I don't know how he got that pass off, but Veal's going to get it off. 3rd and 3 at the 6. Trying to find somebody open here, slam out in the end zone, and hit as I throw. We're going for this. We're going for it. You're not going to be the #1 team in the country kicking field goals. So here we go. 4th and 3. Veal just run for it. Easily going to get in the end zone. Just love the mobility. Clemson would quickly answer, though. Maybe they're starting to finally figure things out against our defense. But here we go with a little jet sweep on 3rd and 2. Going to pick that up. Huge conversion for us as we approach the end of the first half. 1st and 10. Don't see anything I love. I think I can fire right there to Emerson, who's going to get the 1st down. 1st and goal at the 2. Going to try and dive over the line. We got it. Touchdown. We're back in front. Clemson, though, right back to our 2-yard line. Our defense has been figured out. Going to run commit up the middle here, and I think we are going to make a stop. Wow, that did not look good at the start of the play. My goal line defense is usually pretty good. Their quarterback's going to try and escape here. Fire to the end zone. There's no way that was caught. So Deshaun Watson is just making plays for Clemson on offense. But here we go. I think we have press coverage man-on-man, and that's going to be wide open. Completely whiffed on the press, and Veal missed him. It's just incredible. It's honestly just incredible. How do you miss that throw? It's literally a layup. And now we have a 3rd and 10, going to try and dump it off, and it's incomplete. This is a disaster. And now here in the 3rd quarter, it's a 10-point game. We are in the red zone. We have a chance to cut this to 1-possession game, but it's not going well for us. And Emerson's going to drop that. We just need some of these receivers to emerge. We do not have like a superstar on the outside, and it's hurting us a decent amount here in key spots. But here's Veal. Going to take off and run, pick up 8 yards. Going to try and get on the move here again and pick up this 1st down, and I'm just going to fire to the end zone. It's going to be caught by Emerson. What a catch. But here we go. Veal has been in this situation a ton his career. Down by 3 against the top team in the country with the ball. Can we make a play to take the lead? First play incomplete. I got to give the defense some credit. They've made timely stops time and time again in the second half. And look at our wide receiver completely burned that cornerback, but Veal threw a horrible ball. I'm just going to secure catch that one. Going to look for the tight end across the middle of the field. Just going to dump it off the running back. Just pick up 5 yards here. And he's actually going to break a huge tackle. That's big. We're going to take only 3, though. I like Branham on this post corner. It's not going to be open. Trying to find some room. And look at Veal make a huge play. That's a 1st down. All right, we're going to run as much clock as we can. Hopefully just get stopped here again. I'm sure Clemson will call a timeout maybe if they make this stop, and they still won't. So in my eyes, we have 2 downs to score a touchdown. We're not giving this ball back to Clemson with a tie ball game. So here we go on 3rd and goal. Nothing's open. Going to fire on this slant out to the back of the end zone. Emerson couldn't get to it. And now I'm going to have a risky call. Pedrano. Going to run it up the middle. Pedrano. He's got the touchdown. Oh my goodness, a gutsy call, but we're in. And now Clemson, the #1 team in the country, needs a touchdown in 35 seconds. They do have all 3 timeouts, though. And the first play, Watson's going to take a sack. A huge play from our defense. I don't know why Clemson did not use a timeout, but I will take it. They just wasted so much time. Throwing to the out route. It's going to be picked off by Raduns. And Raduns just iced the game. But after that win, we are only ranked number 18 in the country. So I don't know, even if we beat Georgia, is that going to be enough to get us into the college football playoffs? Can we jump 6 spots? Can we like swap with Georgia if we win on the road here? I don't know. That's going to be very, very interesting to see. And look at these overalls. It's the first time in 5 years that we've had better overalls across the board than Georgia. That's pretty unbelievable. And although our talent is better, it doesn't matter if it doesn't show up on the field. And so far, we're matching up pretty good. 7-7 here in the red zone, and that was probably not a good play call. Chris Jones going to sack us. We lose 9 yards, and now we can't even run the football. Probably not the best play call. But here's Veal Going to go outside the pocket, and look how fast these defensive linemen are. Going to fire to the running back, and why did he go towards the defender? Oh my goodness. I mean, our offense is moving it at will. It's just the mistakes in the red zone is another one. Sacked again. 3rd and 14 now. Don't see anything. Just going to take off and run with Veal, and Veal is going to make it 4th and 5. Probably not the smartest decision here on 4th and 5, but I'm going to go for it, and somehow he had it on that ball. I don't know how he did it. He's still breaking tackles. We're inside the 6. Going to be a little bit smarter this time and run the football. Right up the middle. Beautiful cut from Carey, and it's in the end zone. We're tied up. We've got a 7-point lead here. 3rd and 13 in this 3rd quarter. Going to fire to the end zone. Murphy, he's been huge for us all year. He's going to come with another interception. But going up by 2 touchdowns with less than 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter would be huge for us. And again, just nothing really open. I'm going to have to take off with Veal. Luckily, pick up 3. 3rd and 7 now. Curl route. Caught by Emerson. He's going to hold on. 3 straight runs for me. 3 straight runs for me here at the 2-yard line. Carey, I thought he was going to dive in, but we're down at the 1. Going to try it again. Offside's a glitch on Georgia's defensive lineman, but it doesn't matter. It's good. 2 touchdown lead. Georgia's making a pretty tough effort to come back in this game. A 1st down here would be huge for us, and I don't see anything open. In Georgia, scored in the snap of the finger. Here we go. 2nd and 12. Veal, just take off. Look at how they're playing the quarterback run. I can't do anything. Got to throw it away. We had a 17-point lead in this game at one point, and now we're really struggling to even pick up a 1st down. Again, pressure. Veal is going to go down. Oh my goodness. And Georgia is already on our doorstep. This is an unbelievable choke job by Georgia Tech. It's going to be fired in the flat. We're going to make a tackle. But here we go, the play of the game. 3rd and 3. Going to fire to the end zone. He's not going to. He's going to be sacked. He's going to fumble the football. Vilma with a huge play. And Vilma's off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him. Oh my goodness. A game-saving play by our defensive line. And that should just about do it. Georgia still scored in like 10 seconds. How does our defense not make one play? I mean, just to run some clock. But here we go with the 3rd and 4. We're still not out of the woods yet. Gonna fire it to our tight end. Hit as I throw again. 7 sacks today. Our offensive line is actually really good. I don't understand how Georgia is just slicing us up. And running back, cross the middle of the field, he's gonna drop it. Are you kidding me? We've had 2 huge leads 2 separate times in this game. The CPU just loves Georgia in this game for some reason. It's unbelievable. They scored like 2 touchdowns in a span of like 5 seconds. 2 separate occasions. And they're gonna have a chance to go down the field and win this game. It's gonna be picked off. Oh my goodness. Petticord with an amazing pick. Take it all the way back. Take it all the way back. We're running up the score. We're running up the score. I don't care about running off the clock. 68-yard pick 6. 2 defensive scoring touchdowns. And Georgia is gone. They still scored a touchdown in like 10 seconds again. 45-42. We walked into their building and beat them again. The 3rd straight year in a row we've taken down Georgia. I think we're actually the best college in the state now. Like, you could argue we're the best program in the state with our recent success over them. And you simply cannot make it up. You can't make it up, man. We were ranked number 12 after the Georgia game. But after 2 bye weeks, the ACC championship game between Miami and NC State, they are in over us, and we are not going to make the college football playoffs. I mean, that definitely stinks. And instead of making the playoffs, we're playing in the Military Bowl against the Rice Owls. At least it's a ranked opponent, but man, I really thought we had a chance to sneak in this year. And honestly, we put the committee on notice today. We absolutely destroyed Rice. We should have been in the college football playoffs, but next year, we better be ranked as one of the best teams in the country to start off the season, because we're going to be really, really good again next year. 45-13 is the final score. Never a close game whatsoever. We win ourselves another bowl game, but next year, we need to finally break through and have a chance at a national championship. Stats for the season: Veal had 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns to 9 picks. I mean, I think that's kind of been what he's been doing the last couple of years for us. Rushing wise, Carey was 725 yards and 11 touchdowns. Veal also added in 4 touchdowns on the ground. Receiving, Canyon over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, but Emerson led us with 11 touchdowns himself. Our receiving core is actually pretty good. Defensively, a lot of sacks, but they were spread out a ton. Ben Dawkins led us with 6.5, and Mendez as well with 6.5. Interceptions wise, Taj Butler had 3. Eli Murphy had 3. I'm hoping he can come back for his senior season and win a national championship with us, because he was one of the first top recruits that we got. And Clemson, their only loss the entire year was against Georgia Tech, and we somehow did not make the college football playoffs. So disappointing, but they defeat Alabama in a kind of a rematch. I think that was what, their 3rd time meeting, 35-29. Clemson wins it. Again, as always, we're going to be losing a lot of players, but I'm hoping that we can at least get back our star-studded pass rusher. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Ben Dawkins, extremely low persuasion chance. Can we get him? And we're not going to. So we're going to lose probably the best player on our entire team. And here's officially our recruiting class in year number 5. We have 24 players signed, a lot of 2 stars and 3 stars, so definitely not as top heavy as we've had in the past. I think we only have 7 4 stars, so not super great. I think our class is still going to be pretty decent in terms of just grading out, and it's actually going to be number 34. The training results for the team are okay. Not as good as last year, at least to start the season. 88 overall, 89 defense, though. Our best player is Tavarius Metchie, who's a blocking tight end with 72 speed. But Eli Murphy, who we recruited several years ago, is still just an absolute stud for us. Dre Veal's kind of capped out. He's an 83 overall, 88 with his boost, which is kind of cool. At running back, Sale Padrino is going to be our starter this year with Tyler Littlejohn as our backup halfback. At receiver, it's still Nesbitt, Emerson, and Chung. These guys were pretty good for us last year. The offensive line is not as good as last year, but definitely still more than serviceable. I don't think we'll have any issues there. The defensive line is very, very good and deep as well. I mean, holy crap. Look at defensive tackle. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep with 83 plus overalls. The linebacking core is pretty decent again as well. We did lose Boyd, though, who was our best backer. At corner, it's Murphy and then kind of just a bunch of players. We're really going to need him to hold it down for us this year. And then at safety, a couple good options as well, but definitely not as good as the team last year heading into the opening of this season. And to start this season, we are number 11 in the country, the highest we've been rated out of any season so far, which is pretty exciting. And we're going to have a chance to get up to a fast start with Bowling Green, Charlotte, a bye week, and then Virginia to start off conference play. We have Virginia Tech this year. We have Clemson on the road, which is going to be a very tough game. And of course, Georgia at home. But we've beaten them, I think, 3 years in a row. So I'm kind of not even worried about them anymore. Here's a look at some of our recruits. We're adding a lot more 5 stars to the board this year. I think because of the prestige of our colleges going up, we have a better chance to get a couple of these guys. I don't think we've gotten a 5-star this entire video so far. But through the first 2 weeks of the season, we beat Bowling Green on the road and then destroyed Charlotte at home in a revenge game because we lost to them last year, 59-31. Recruiting wise, we do not have a player sign yet, but these 5 stars, and we are very close, leading for 2 of them. So this could be our best recruiting class, maybe our best season as well. Pretty exciting stuff brewing for us. And we're doing exactly what we need to be doing. Just taking care of business, defeating Virginia, and having an absolute shootout against Virginia Tech, winning 55-45. And now we have the showdown in Death Valley against Clemson as we get into the heart of conference play. SMU is no longer ranked, but Georgia, 4-0, number 1 in the country. This is probably the best team that they've had in several years. And I also think this is the best team that we have had so far, although it's not the best on paper, just the experience, having new coordinators as well. I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner. But here we go in Death Valley. They won the national championship last year, trying to defend their title. And we're going on the road here. We're the only team to beat them last year. We're trying to do it for 2 years in a row. Really the first look at the team this year, the defense is going to have to make a goal line stand, and their quarterback makes an excellent move. Clemson's up 7. Our offense did answer, and look at all the star talent we have now. Veal is even a star in his senior season. We love to see that, having just an experienced quarterback. Trying to get to the edge here. Cannot. We're going to lose the yard. Second and goal now. Slant route should be wide open. It's going to be caught. It's tied up. Now we got a 3rd and 11. Clemson is moving it once again. A sack would be huge, potentially move him out of field goal range, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Huge play from our defensive line. But I think Veal just threw a pick, so Clemson is right back in scoring position. They actually just gain yards off that interception, which definitely sucks. But here we go. We're going to make a good stop. Our defensive line is playing really, really good so far, but we just cannot turn the ball over in minus territory. That just cannot happen. Here we go. Quarterback's going to fire to the end zone. It's going to be picked off. Come on. That's Murphy, our best corner. And we are going to score a touchdown, but Clemson has a 3rd and 15 again here as they're approaching our red zone again. Beautiful cross the middle of the field. I try to get to it, but our linebacker was just a little bit too slow. They would tie it up. So now we have 55 seconds to go down and score some points before half. And the very first down play, I don't see anything. I just kind of walked into a sack. But we got a 3rd down now. We just got to take care of the ball. No turnovers, and we should be fine. Just going to take over the Veal and plenty of green grass. I mean, he's one of the probably fastest quarterbacks in the country. And Veal even breaking a couple of tackles, bringing it inside Clemson territory. If we can't get a chunk play, we just need around a 1st down for a field goal. So here we go with Veal. And I'm just going to fire one. Little stick route right here. Hold down Chung. He's going to pick up 8 yards. I think we can take one shot at the end zone. If we don't score a touchdown, we kick the field goal. Going to lob one up. One-on-one coverage, and we haven't beat Emerson. Hold on to it. He does. That's a huge touchdown and off the half. And now we're all the way in the fourth quarter. Clemson has not scored yet. Defensive battle here in the second half, and we're trying to make a big stop again. It's going to be a screen pass. Can I get there in time? I can. He's going to be short. And now after scoring yet another touchdown, this is the ball game. We can get a stop. Another sack from our defensive line would be huge here. And slant routes across the middle of the field. I'm playing pretty good defense. It's going to be picked off. That's just perfect defense. Great coverage all around from our secondary. That's going to do it. Clemson would get a garbage time touchdown, but we win 28-21 against the number 6 team in the country on the road. Really wasn't close down the stretch. We're honestly just flying past this season. I don't want to show every single little moment as we're now in year number 6, but we have destroyed Boston College. We destroyed Wake Forest. We destroyed Louisville. The season is going really, really good. We kind of started the Clemson downfall because they were ranked inside the, I think, top 7, and now they're not even ranked after we just went into their house and really destroyed them. Here's what our recruiting class is looking like so far. We have 8 commits and officially our first 5-star. It's a quarterback, actually, TJ Hose. We're going to call him TJ Hose. 5-star recruit, the number 2 player in the entire country. Kind of a cool get. I don't know if he's really going to play for us. As always, we're still trying to get after some of these other 4-stars late, and we have a lead on a lot of them. So I think once again, we're going to have ourselves one of our best recruiting classes. And I think for officially, I don't want to mush it, but I do feel like for the first time, we have a great chance to make the college football playoffs and maybe even be one of the top seeds. A defensive battle so far. I think we only have 15 yards of offense in the entire first quarter, and Notre Dame is approaching the end zone here. 3rd and 1, going to run commit up the middle, and it's actually going to be a pass. He's going to try and run for it. It's going to be incomplete. Down by 13 late in the third. We don't even have 100 yards of offense yet. We've been such a dominant offensive group all season long. 2nd and 10 play is going to take off with Veal, and Veal has some green grass, and Veal is going to fumble it. Why did I try to dive for it? We did get ourselves a safety because of it. Maybe that's going to be like a galaxy brain play. As Veal's going to break a sack here and then take off and run. Veal is down the right sideline, and Veal, another huge carry. Trying to score our first offensive points of the day. Right in the flat. Touchdown, Harvey. Right back in this game. Veal, he's the king of these. Down by 5. On the road. Hostile environment. Very good team. Can we get a touchdown to win this game? First play, a huge gain to our running back on the Texas route. Pedrino's been a pretty good option for us, but it's just been kind of one of those games today. We only have just over 100 yards passing. That's like unheard of. 3rd and 10. Gonna lob one up deep down the field. Can Nesbitt make a play? And it's gonna be picked off. It's gonna be picked off. That was just not a smart decision. We're gonna have around 20 seconds, and oh my goodness, their punter just completely whiffed on that. So because of that awful punt, we're kind of just right back where we were, just with a lot less time. So we need a magical play here from Veal. And pressure, gonna lob one up into the end zone, and it's gonna be swatted away. We've really got like 2 plays. Somebody's got to beat their man-on-man coverage. I think we might have. It's Emerson. Can he make a play on the star cornerback? It's gonna be broken up again. Gonna lob one up again. It's Nesbitt. Nesbitt, he's gonna hold on, but there's no time. And that's gonna be the ball game. We are going to fall at Notre Dame as the number 1 team in the country. We did fortunately take care of SMU. We destroyed Florida State as well. And all we have left is Georgia. I think we are a lock to make the ACC championship game because we are 8-0. That's unbelievable. Completely swept through that conference. And at this point, we're kind of just playing for seeding in the college football playoffs. If we win this game, we're probably going to be the number 1 overall seed. I believe we've beaten Georgia 3 or 4 years in a row. So we've had their number recently. But today, obviously, it's a new team on both sides of the ball. And we're going to have to do it again. Been a defensive struggle so far, but Georgia did score first. So we're going to have to respond offensively. It's really been the strength of our team this year. I'm going to go deep here. One-on-one coverage. Can Emerson make a play? It's swatted away. I'm making a bad habit of going after the opposing team's star cornerback, but here's Veal, and he's going to pick a huge first down, even a stiff arm. What a play. Big first down. Going to fire it across the middle of the field. Another beautiful throw to Chung, getting us inside the 5-yard line. And on 1st and goal, plenty of green grass. Just going to run with Veal, and he is going to fight his way to make it a tie ball game. And now with less than 4 minutes to go in the game, we have a 3-point deficit, but Veal does have us on the move. I'm going to fire into the flat here to Chung, who's going to step out of bounds and pick up 9 yards. And we're knocking on the door here to take this lead, go up big, and I just threw it into that safety. Oh my goodness. I knew it right when I released it. Now we need to tackle him. Oh man. I keep making bad mistakes. But our defense made us stop, and now once again we're moving it, and we have a chance with a few more seconds off the clock here to go win this game. Gonna call kind of a conservative play call, just a little halfback screen, a beautiful little cut from Pedrino, and we are almost in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 23. Gonna lob it up to Mechie, and Mechie's gonna hold on. Now I'm gonna go back to that well here on 3rd and goal. We just took a sack on 2nd and goal. Was not a very good play. But here we go. Beautiful little halfback screen. And we're actually going to get in the end zone. We don't even have to think about going for it on 4th down. That is a huge play. In Georgia, with all 3 timeouts, are attempting to have a comeback drive. And it's going to be a beautiful throw to their receiver here. They're inside our territory just like that. Our defense has made clutch stops all season long. We need one more here against a really good team. It's going to be a halfback screen. They're using my playbook here. He's going to be short of the sticks. They're going to have to use another timeout. Just nothing over top and we're fine. There's only 11 seconds. It's probably, what, 2 plays, 2 shots at the end zone, and he's going to take a sack here. I only got 1 chance. 3rd and 10, and our pass rush can't get home. This is going to be the last play of the game. Just somebody swat it down, please. Somebody swat it down. And it's picked off. Oh my goodness, I thought Georgia caught that. But we are going to escape with the win. Huge for us. I think we're going to be the #1 seed in the college football playoffs, just like that. We end the regular season 11-1, and our ACC championship game is going to be against Stanford, who is the #3 team in the country. They're 11-1 as well, but 7-1 in the conference. But here we go in the ACC championship game. I think this game is going to be played at Bank of America Stadium, the home of the Carolina Panthers. But here is Georgia Tech, led by our senior quarterback, Dre Veal. And so far in this game, we're off to a good start. 3rd and 8. Already up by 7 points. We're driving again. And out of the backfield to our running back. Should be easy completion. It is. And we're inside the red zone. I think Nesbitt could beat the corner here. He does. Easy. Nesbitt. Touchdown. 14-0 Yellow Jackets. And now here in the 3rd quarter, I think this is our opening drive. It's 28-14. In command of this game, especially if we can get a touchdown on this drive. A Texas route to our running back, and Pedrino is going to bring us inside the 15-yard line. Got our backup Little John in the game, going to hand the ball off to him, and he's got a lot of green grass, and Little John brings us to the 1. And now at the 1, trying to find somebody open. See the slant route. It's going to be caught. Touchdown Nesbitt. And this game has just been a domination. Kind of the last breath here for Stanford on 4th and 7. We can get him off the field. It's going to be thrown up the seam. Intercepted by Dodge. What a pick from our middle linebacker. And that should just about do it. A dominant win. Here's what the college football playoff bracket looks like. Ohio State is the #1 seed, 11-1 on the year. We're the #2 seed. We also have Cincinnati, who I'm not really too scared of on our side of the bracket. But there is Georgia, our rival. And if they do win against Miami, that would be our matchup in the quarterfinal. Coordinator of the year went to LaMichael Barr, our defensive coordinator. I'm surprised it wasn't our OC. Dre Veal, our senior quarterback, took home player of the year. And he also took home the Heisman Trophy. The guy we recruited, I think, over 5 years ago. It's been quite a journey. Sal Pedrino also won the best running back award, not even 1,000 yards, which is kind of surprising to win that award with, but hey, we'll take it. And of course, in the Cotton Bowl, our matchup is going to be against Georgia, our cross-state rival, the #10 seed, 10-4 in the season. But it's go time, and we do strike first, 7-0 early in this 1st quarter. But Georgia's already on the move. They're trying to answer, and look at Hewitt make a huge play in the backfield. 2nd and goal now from the 11. Another run up the middle this time, though. Pretty good carry. And instead of sitting back this time, we're going to bring some pressure. Hopefully they run it up the middle again, and we can stop him. But here goes the running back in motion. And the quarterback looking forward to the end zone. Easy touchdown pass. And as we approach 2 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, it's 3rd and 6 here. We're down by 3 points. We got to pick up this 1st down. And here's Pedrino. He won running back of the year for plays like that. Just got to be smart here in the red zone. We can just not turn the ball over against Georgia. Going to fire here to the running back again. Little John drops it. The smart play is probably to kick the field goal, but you have to be aggressive in these big spots. Slant route, it's going to be dropped by Chung. And Georgia's going to capitalize to start off the 2nd half. They're going to take a 10-point lead here. Mechie picks up a big first, though. Here we go. Pedrino in motion, and I'm going to try to scramble out here. Move him upfield. I'm going to fire to the end zone. Beautiful throw from Veal, but it's going to be dropped. We've had so many drop passes from our receivers today in very key spots as well. 2nd and 10 now. Mechie across the middle of the field. Veal missed him. So let's try this again here on 3rd and 10. Mechie again. I'm going to fire him. He's got a safety on him. There's a flag on the field. I think it's going to be pass interference, a bailout penalty, and it is. Can't be afraid to run the ball. 1st and goal at the 5. Best running back in the country, apparently. And Pedrino breaking a couple tackles, getting down to the 1. 2nd and goal. Looking towards the end zone. And the flat. It's going to be caught by Chung. He makes up for his drop earlier. It's a 3-point game. But Georgia's offense just won't quit. They're back in our red zone, and a nice run up the middle here from their running back, and he's going to pick up 9 yards. And now it's 3rd and goal. No touchdown. The quarterback's going to try and run. He's not going to get it. They got to settle for 3. Veal has been in this position against Georgia maybe like 3 or 4 times in his career. And here's Davis up the right sideline for a huge gain. Just got to be smart with the football. Don't make a stupid pass, and we should be fine. Here in this little post corner, Mechie, beautiful route. We're in business already. I was thinking about just running clock potentially and being like the last team to really score, but I'm just going to try and score as soon as I can. Going to fire to the sideline here. Emerson is going to have another drop. Our receivers have been really struggling today. I don't know what it is, but Texas route across the middle of the field. Pedrino wide open in the middle of the field, and we're going to take the lead. First play. Firing to the right sideline. It's going to be picked off by Dunham. Oh my goodness. A game-changing play from Dunham. And just like that, we're inside the 30, and we're about to run out the clock. 2 first downs in this game. The first play, Pedrino. Pedrino's going to pick up 1. Read option on 2nd and 9. Pedrino bouncing it outside. Pedrino's going to juke inside, and we're down to the 6-yard line. And I don't know about this play call, but I'm just going to stick with it. I'm being aggressive. 4th and 2. First down ends it. Pedrino right up the middle. He got the first down. We've got 3 downs. They don't have any time to stop the clock. And that is going to be the ball game. Another thriller against Georgia. Another game-winning drive from Veal. A huge play from our defense. 28-27. We're moving on to the semis, and we have definitely claimed our spot as the best program in the state of Georgia. Cincinnati got upset, lost 30-27 against Kansas State, so that's going to be our matchup in the semis, and not really any surprises. The top of the screen, Stanford is going to be playing Ohio State in the semifinals. We might have another matchup against Stanford in the national championship. But first, we got to take care of business against the Wildcats. And so far, it's an old-fashioned shootout. 21-14. Not even really much of the second quarter has gone by. And here's Veal on 3rd and 9. They're not going to count for his running ability. Easy first. Our offense has just been unstoppable all season long. Our defense has had its moments of being pretty good, but also just giving up some points here or there. They've really just mainly made up for it with the timely turnovers like last week, especially against Georgia. But here, firing to the end zone, caught by Chung. Another touchdown. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. We have a 10-point advantage. Another 3rd and 8, trying to put more points up on the board. Veal's going to take off here, just escape that defensive end and bring it inside the 30-yard line. The drive did stall out, though, so we have to settle for a field goal, which I don't love doing here, but we're going to take the 13-point lead. The field goal is good. Kansas State, they better answer quickly. And to give them credit, they did. But I still don't think they can stop our offense here on 3rd and 2. Mechie, nice little crosser here. He's going to pick up. Nice game. And now that we can make this a 2-possession ball game, I'm just going to put on shoot clock and try to run this thing out. And here goes Pedrino. He's going to pick up a good couple yards there, falling forward. The 2-minute warning is hit. I think if we get a first down here, Kansas State will begin to use their timeouts, and there's one. I'm going to pass for this because if we do get the first down, it really puts the pressure on Kansas State to really get a stop, and Chung for a huge first down again. And I'm fine with any outcome here. A rushing touchdown would be fine to go up by 2 touchdowns. Or we just take another 40 seconds off the clock. Here goes Pedrino, and he's going to barrel his way in for a touchdown. But Kansas State cannot score again. We're moving on finally to the national championship game after winning 47-35. Another pretty dominant win. We had control throughout the entirety of this one. And because we've been doing so good, somebody poached our offensive coordinator, which I don't think he's going to be coaching in the national championship now, which is not super good. I mean, we do still have Coach Mathis, who's one of the best coaches in the entire country. But man, I wish he would have just stayed for like one more week. And Stanford, 14-2, did upset Ohio State 31-23. And it's an all-ACC national championship. We got to take him down again to hoist the coach's trophy. Stanford is the team that's been moving it so far. They're in the red zone to start off this game. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Can we make a stop? It's underneath the right receiver here. He's going to take a big shot, but he's down inside the 10. Another one up the middle. This time, the running back makes a great cut. Stanford gets the opening lead. We've responded pretty well, though. 14-10. Stanford is a 3rd and 14 in midfield. A stop here would be huge to get the ball back and score again before half. And what a throw from their quarterback, Juan Smith. Getting outside of the pocket, he threw an absolute dart there. And now they're inside the red zone here, guard in the middle of the field, and he throws another strike. But Veal is saying, anything you can do, I can do better. And now here up the seam, going to lob one up to Mechie. It's overthrown. 2nd and 10 now, trying to find, I think that's Chung. He's going to hold on to it. We're inside the 3. Here we go, trying to scan the field. Don't really see anything open. Back of the end zone. It's going to be called from Emerson, our star receiver. And to open up this third quarter, we're on the move again, up by 11 points. We really have a chance to make a big statement here on this drive. Cross the middle of the field, standing in tall. Nesbitt. Dre Veal has every single touchdown for our team today. He's just on fire. Across the middle of the field again, Chung, he's in for a touchdown. Now that we're in the fourth quarter, Stanford is kind of entering desperation mode. 4th and 6. Can we make a stop? Their quarterback's going to take off and run. Somebody make a tackle. And Murphy got juked out of his shoes. But we've got another 4th and 2 here. Another chance for a stop. Another pass across the middle of the field. It's going to be a user lurk by Dodge. What a play. And that probably just clinched the national championship. Stanford would force us into a 3-and-out and get a touchdown. So now we have to run this ball out. Make sure they don't touch the ball again. And here is Pedrino. A beautiful run from Pedrino. And we're near midfield. And I'm going to call some play action here to try and get some yardage in the passing area. And that was just not a good idea. Didn't make them use their last time out. Didn't even pick up any yardage. But here's a beautiful out route. It's caught by Davis. Stay in bounds. And that's just going to about do it. Veal going to take a knee. And it is official. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets, in year number 6 are officially national champions. This has taken so long, but we have finally accomplished it with so many of our recruits. Veal, obviously the centerpiece of it all, our quarterback who we recruited several years ago at this point. It's finally done. The final stats for the season, including the playoffs, Veal had 4,700 yards, 52 touchdowns to 11 picks on the ground, over 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns for Petrino. Receiving, Chung killed with 22 touchdowns. Emerson had 16 and Nesbitt had 12. Our receiving core was so good. And defensively, oh my goodness, Ramon Mendez, a redshirt sophomore from Cumming, Georgia, had 17 sacks. We even had Mitch Fielder with 10 himself. Interceptions wise, Eli Murphy, who we signed, I think, in year number 1 of this rebuild, the redshirt senior, had 5 picks. We had 4 from Barry Wayne, 4 from Devin Dunham, 4 from Max Snead. This team was firing on all cylinders. I'm so impressed. Here are the players leaving. Mechie, I think we're going to have a good chance to get him back. A 90 overall tight end. He is going to come back, but we're going to be losing Murphy, our best corner, in the 2nd round. 6th round for Devin Dunham. But somehow the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who had over, I think, 6 touchdowns in the national championship game doesn't even have a draft grade currently. That's kind of unreal. For recruitment this year, we signed 17 players, which I think is going to be good for a top 25 class. And it's actually going to be number 15. So one of our best classes, we had 10 4-stars and our first 5-star, I believe, as well. And for this upcoming season, I'm not going to play through it. I just want to simulate it all and see if we can defend our national championship. But we have a 90 overall team this year, 91 overall defense. Definitely the highest overall team that we've had. And our quarterback is probably going to be Jimmy Schneck this year. 85 speed, 97 throw power, pretty good accuracies as well. So he's probably going to be a pretty good player. Heading into the year, we're the number 4 team in the nation behind Stanford, Oregon, and Ohio State. And here's a quick look at our schedule. Look at Alabama. They're not even ranked to start off the season. They're going to be playing us at home, and then we have UCLA. So a pretty hard, actually, out of conference schedule. Miami is ranked inside the top 10, and of course, Georgia, they're always just such a good team. And here we go. I just simmed the entire season. We have some recruits from the automating recruiting. I want to see how good we were this year. So we went 8-4. We only went 8-4, 5-3 in the ACC. I think that means our season's over. So we took a loss to Alabama because, of course, they're just going to be insane this year. The one time we play them. Our defense, though, was up to a 92 overall. But Miami, we lost to them. North Carolina, we lost to them. We beat Georgia again, though. We're 6-6 this year. So a pretty still decent year for us. I don't think we're going to have a chance to make the college football playoff. Again, our bowl game was against UAB. We lost 26-22. It's kind of a disappointing end of this season. Let's take a look at the stats and see kind of what went wrong. Jimmy Schneck had himself a pretty good year. 39 touchdowns to 9 picks, so the quarterback position wasn't really a huge problem. Pedrino was not as good this year, 718 yards and 5 touchdowns. Receiving, we were still really good. Chung is just a touchdown machine. Okay, so definitely not as many sacks as we had last year and not as many turnovers forced. I wonder if that was the reason why this team was not as good this year, but we could not defend our national championship. But that is going to do it for me in this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. We completely built Georgia Tech up from the ground, made them into a national champion, and really one of the blue bloods now in college football. We have owned Georgia. We are now the best program in the state. And really the future outlook for this program is really good ever since we took over. But subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And let me know in the comment section down below which team you want to see me rebuild next.